Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to an impromptu, out of nowhere Hunter x Hunter related stream. This was unplanned to the nth power. This was pretty high. To the nth power. There we go. Yes, there we go. I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to filter in here, and then we'll go over what we're doing today. I mean, the title kind of gives it away what we're doing today. We're going to be making a tier list of various Nen users from the hit popular anime and manga series Hunter x Hunter. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's kind of like One Piece, except instead of pirates, well, there actually are pirates in Hunter x Hunter. There is a part of the story where they have to fight pirates. They're not real pirates, but they're pirates, you know? So yeah, the chat is exploding already. My God, that came out of nowhere. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So today was a day that I had like 5 different things to do, and then all of that got canceled before noon. So like I was supposed to do just a bunch of streams today, and it ended up just like everybody canceling. And then I was supposed to go actually to like a trivia night tonight. But one of my friends got sick, and they were like, yeah, let's just cancel that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we're doing this instead. I've been not reading, but I've been watching a lot of Hunter x Hunter again. I probably do that at least once a year. I go back and watch a lot of Hunter x Hunter. So I'm like, I've been watching a lot of Hunter x Hunter content from other YouTubers, and I'm like, man, I could really go for doing some Hunter x Hunter content, like a stream or so. So I found this nice little tier list. I did not make this. I just found this nice little tier list on tiermaker.com. Not every Nen user's on here. If you're familiar with the manga, none of the princes or anything from Kakin are on here. This is basically just anime, but there will be spoilers for both anime and manga, because I'm probably going to inevitably talk about something relating to the Hunter x Hunter manga. So just giving you a heads up there. We have some simple tiers over here. We have S, A, B, C, D, and then just trash. I don't know who's going to end up in the trash tier, but we're going to have to see. Just see where it goes, I guess. We got some interesting choices on here. I mean, obviously you got Gon, Killua, Meruem, like all the notable ones, Kurapika. But then you also have like some of the Shadow Beasts, not all of the Shadow Beasts. Like Leech is on here, Porcupine and Owl, but Worm and Rapid Dog are not. And I'm like, come on, guys. Worm was like one of the best characters in the York New City arc. Why is he not on this? Some of the Chimera Ants are, some aren't. Like the Chimera Ant that fought against Shalnark is on here. Boki. I'm like, all right, cool. He's on here, I guess. Worm had a scary ability. If Worm was on this tier list, I'd probably give him at least a C. I mean, it wasn't a bad ability. He also kind of survived Uvogin's punch for a couple of minutes. So there's that. Zazan's on here. Zazan's on here. Some of them might be kind of hard to see. Some of them are more like I'll tell you what, Nobunaga threw me. Nobunaga's on the 3rd level between Netero and one of the Ortho siblings. That's another random pick to be on here. But it's Nobunaga when he's using Ns, so you can't even really see Nobunaga there. But he is there, okay? Don't let this tier list sway you from the fact that bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum. We'll get to bungee gum, trust me. We'll get to figuring out the properties of bungee gum when we get there. But dude, yeah, so we're just doing this tonight because I needed something to do, and I was watching a lot of Hunter x Hunter, so let's just get right into it, I suppose. I'm drinking a new flavor of bubbly that came out. It's pineapple bubbly. So there was 1 box left in the store. I think we're going to get a snowstorm or something, because like everybody was shopping in Walmart today at like, 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. So like, yeah, it was like pretty insane in the store today. It was one of those things where I came in and just grabbed everything I needed and walked out because it was like really busy. When is the charity stream? December 23rd, 1 p.m. That'll be the charity stream. All right. So we're starting off with the Nen Exorcist Abengane from Greed Island. So this dude right here. Now, Abengane, he's a Nen Exorcist, okay? So his abilities aren't... He's dedicated himself to removing Nen that's really notoriously hard to get rid of, okay? So he does not really have battle capabilities probably outside of like the 4 basic stuff, like he can use Ren and stuff like that to augment his physical attacks, but his focus is exorcism. And probably the most notable thing that Abengane was able to do was that he was able to remove the Nen chain that Kurapika planted inside Chrollo. That is the reason. Now, that is actually, once again, we're getting into the manga territory because Chrollo and Hisoka eventually fight in the manga, and he's had the Nen chain removed at that point so he can use his abilities again, okay? So, yeah, exorcism is really rare, too. I think in the story, we've only seen 3 characters that are canonical Nen exorcists. We see Abengane, we see Hina, who is one of the Chimera Ants. She's down here. And then we also have an unnamed exorcist that tries to remove the Nen from Gon after he uses the contract against Pito. And we don't get her name, but so there's only like 3 of them. So there's only like 1 in the Hunter Association only has apparently 1 exorcist to call on. So this is a really rare ability. Also, Abengane was able to neutralize Genthrou's bomber power, which is like, once again, Genthrou's bombs were apparently like unable to be removed, and he was able to do that. So I'm gonna say, like, honestly, I'm thinking A tier for Abengane. You gotta understand, the thing that really sells it for me is, think about this. Kurapika made his Nen chains specifically to restrain the Phantom Troop. You saw how powerful, how much Nen and hatred went into that power to the point where Kurapika would stake his own damn life on this ability. And Abengane was able to remove that from Chrollo. So that is pretty damn impressive, I am saying. I'm debating now. Okay, from my experience with tier lists, the first person up always is difficult to rank because, like, I haven't gotten into the flow of the ranking yet. So, like, the first couple of people I rank, I might change later down the line because we haven't really seen where I'm placing everybody else at this point. I think A is fair just because being able to remove Genthrou's bombs, being able to remove Kurapika's chain, and just the rarity of Nen Exorcist at all is pretty... He deserves at least an A. Okay, all right. So next up, we have Baise. Baise is a manipulator. We get to meet her at the beginning of York New City. She dies pretty quickly into that arc, but she has a pretty decent ability that allows her to manipulate anybody she kisses for 180 minutes, so about 3 hours. And we've seen this power basically be like, once she activates it, they will pretty much do whatever she orders them to do. She uses it on the butler at Nostrad's mansion, and the butler just like uses, like, he just throws himself in front of Baise as a human shield when a bunch of people are shooting at her, and he just dies. So she's literally just like, be a human shield for me, and he's like, okay, and then and just gets gunned down and just dies right there. So it's a pretty unique ability, but she has to kiss the person in order to activate it, which means if there's any Nen user worth their shit that knows that she can use Nen, they are not going to let her get close enough to them in order for her to kiss them, okay? Like, that is, like, any Nen user, like, because she uses the ability on a butler, and she uses the ability on some random guy that was, like, messing with her on the street, you know, it's just like, I'm a big, tough, stupid guy, and Baise is like, okay, and just, like, kisses him. He's like, I'll do whatever you say, mistress, you know, and then she uses it on Squalla, who was a Nen user, but she also relies on, like, her sex appeal to make it work. Like, I'm a sexy lady and I'll, like, kiss you, and, like, a lot of, like, especially guys are, like, cool with that. Like, yeah, all right, sure, oh my god. And then that's how she activates the power. But as we saw, there's a pretty notable weakness where unless she activates that power and uses someone to help her fight, she is pretty much completely, like, defenseless. Now, granted, she did get gunned down by Franklin, who was a member of the Phantom Troop, but, like, she really had no ability to, like, protect herself other than using that power, right? So, yeah. No, she's not even as strong as Boa, because Boa is able to turn inanimate objects into stone. Baise literally, and she's able to use the ability from a distance. Baise literally has to, like, physically kiss you on the lips, presumably, to activate the power, okay? And also, it brings up a question of whether or not, like, does the person in question have to be sexually attracted to Baise in order for it to work? You know what I mean? Or is it just anybody? Because she only uses the ability on men. She's only used the ability 3 times, and each time was on a man. You know, so I don't know. For her, I'm going to say C for right now. Just because, like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's a really powerful ability when it's activated, but anybody that's smart enough is not going to let her get close enough to activate that power. Okay. Who's next? Basho. All right, dude. Basho is an interesting one because he has a Nen ability that is apparently so multifaceted. It's like a haiku Nen ability, like where he writes out Nen infused poetry, and then whatever he writes down becomes true. Like he writes out a haiku like, I'm not good at haiku, so I'm not even gonna bother, but like, anything I punched will burst into flames, and he like crushes the haiku poem and punches a chair and it bursts into flames. And he mentions that the better the haiku is, the better that the haiku actually flows and is well written, the stronger the Nen ability. If it's something really weak and kind of cringe, then the power isn't that great, but it still will work. So even if he writes a really shitty haiku, and it's like, you will burst into flames if I punch you, and then he punches somebody, they might burst into flames for only like a couple seconds, but it'll still happen, all right? Unfortunately, we didn't really get to see him use the power all that much because most of the York New City arc, he's just kind of hanging out being a bodyguard for Neon and doesn't really get to fight anybody throughout the entire arc. We only see him use the power when he's demonstrating the ability at the Nostrad Mansion. That's pretty much the only time he uses the power. Isn't that kind of subjective? Well, a lot of Nen is subjective. In the case with a lot of Nen, it's how you interpret the power. So it might have been a contract that Basho made, where Basho has a really high standard of haiku. So if a haiku he writes is shitty in his opinion, then it's not very strong. But if it's a good haiku in his opinion, then it's stronger. But he's limited by his own cognitive biases. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the whole thing with Nen. That's why it's such a good power system. Yeah. But it's honestly a really good ability if it's like, hey, I'm not really good at haiku, but if I write a really good one, oh my god, I'm crazy powerful. Yeah. Basho is still alive. He's on the Black Whale right now. He's part of the group heading to the Dark Continent. So he's on the ship. It's just that we haven't really seen him. He rap battled a guy during the banquet that they had on the first Sunday on the ship. But that was pretty much the most notable thing that Basho did. He had like a rap battle. I don't know if he won or not. He might have. I don't know. But that was Basho. He's tough. I'm going to put him at C for right now next to Baise. Okay. Who's next? Bisky. Okay, Biscuit Kruger. So, she is very well known for training Gon and Killua. Her powers seem to be way more focused on, like, she's better at training because her actual Nen ability is basically summoning. She's a conjurer that summons a masseuse named Cookie that literally is just really good at all sorts of, like, remedies and skincare and massage and like making sure your hair is really well maintained and just keeping you in, like, now it's a really good ability if you're worn out because she can use a power that's like piano massage and she can like revitalize you if you've just been worn out from training. So it's a really good power there, and she has this ability where she just becomes super buff and strong. Now, she mentions, like, she doesn't even really know how that power worked. It's just because of the way Nen operates. She was like this really, I mean, her true form is like super buff and she lifts like crazy, super macho and very muscular. And she mentions that, like, yeah, I just really wanted to be small and like cute. And then just over the days, I just wanted that over and over again. And my body slowly changed to meet that appearance. So it just kind of gives you an idea of just how Nen really works based off of your motivation and the things that you want and things like that. But Bisky on her own in terms of physical power is absurdly strong. And she has an extremely good support type Nen ability. Okay, so I don't know what type. I mean, it's clearly conjuration to get Cookie, but then it's also like enhancement abilities on how physically strong she is. You know? It does seem a little bit more like a specialist ability now that I'm thinking about it. A cool aspect of emotions affecting Nen. Absolutely. That's a definite thing of Nen, and it's such a multifaceted ability. She's also good enough to teach Gon and Killua. Yeah, so I am feeling A tier for Bisky right now. Like, she's a strong physical fighter that just happens to have a really good support ability. Her ability doesn't really have any combat capabilities on its own, but it's kind of like, hey, neither did Abengane. He doesn't have any combat abilities. His ability is like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Next up is Boki. Boki, panic. Boki was the Chimera Ant officer that fought Shalnark. And his ability is just a generic manipulator ability where it's very similar to Shalnark's Black Voice, where he stabs a receiver into somebody and then he has like a joystick and he like maneuvers that. So it's kind of the exact same ability as Shalnark's like cell phone. But Biscuit doesn't have combat ability? Yeah, she does. Her combat ability is she turns super buff and beats the shit out of you. Yeah, she definitely has combat ability, but her net ability is a supportive one. Yeah. So I'm going to put him down in D, honestly, because his ability is pretty generic. It's like the most generic manipulator ability you could really think of. Like, his ability is he has a receiver that allows him to control people, you know? But he's probably not even close to as strong as Shalnark using that ability. Also, he has to lug around like this big, like, joystick. It's like an old, like, arcade machine joystick setup he has to carry around, you know? Let's see. He only exists to teach you how manipulator abilities works. Yeah, he's the one that teaches you the power that, like, first come, first serve for manipulators. That's pretty much it. It's just a really dull kind of ability, honestly. Like, you know, it's just, yeah. So who's next? Okay, so this is actually Bonolenov. Bonolenov, the member of the, I forget the name of the tribe he's part of, but it's the tribe in Hunter x Hunter that implants, like, the piercings inside of their own bodies so that it has, like, the holes that they dance through. It's like the, you know, the tribe that does that. And so he's a member of the Phantom Troop. Not one of the strongest physical members of the troop, but pretty strong. And he uses this ability. He has two abilities. Well, okay. He has two abilities that we've seen. Excuse me. One ability that he's mentioned, but he hasn't actually shown yet in the manga. So his first ability that we actually see here in the image is his prologue ability. So his ability is all based off of dancing and using the tones and the air and the sounds that come off of his body when he dances. And so the first ability is the prologue ability, where he just turns into it's like a figure that dons the tribal outfit, like the tribal warrior outfit where he's from, and it has a mask and it has like a spear, and he charges at an enemy and like stabs them. Okay, and so that's prologue. Now he used that against the Chimera Ant, and it didn't take them down. And so then he used a stronger ability called Jupiter, which literally summoned an image of the planet Jupiter that, boom, crushed the shit out of the Chimera Ant he was fighting. So it's a pretty devastating. We don't even know if that was the strongest move he had. I'm implying that he probably wasn't, but it was like a giant, just like a giant rock to like crush you in the shape of Jupiter, basically. He also has another ability called Battle Cantabile Metamorphosis. And he mentions this during the Succession War arc, where it's an ability that allows him to transform into pretty much anyone. But he also admits he's not very good at it. Like, well, he's good at it, but he's not really good at how he can use that to, like, they're trying to find Hisoka. So he even tells Chrollo, like, hey, Chrollo, I have this ability that allows me to transform into people, but I'm not really great at that kind of stuff, like tactics and figuring out how to use it and the best capabilities here. So he basically asks, Chrollo, like, what do you want me to transform into so I can go and find Hisoka, kind of a thing, right? So Bonolenov, pretty good combat abilities, being a member of the troop, and also having a little bit of a support power on top of that allows him to transform into people. That's really good as well. I'm feeling like Bonolenov is the first B. I feel like that's a good place to put B there. I think that's a good setup there. Not enough screen time to go higher. I think that's fair, though. I definitely think it is. How many people are watching this right now? 750, man. For an impromptu stream out of nowhere, this worked out pretty good. All right, cool. Okay. So who's next? Bloster. Bloster is the blue lobster Chimera Ant that has Gatling guns in his claws. I gotta admit, I really like this guy. I really like the dude. Is he a particularly strong Nen user? Not really, but I like the fact he's a lobster named Blaster that blasts you with his lobster cannons. I like that. I like that. He's not S tier. He's not S tier, unfortunately, but he's not trash either. Oh, man, if there was only a tier higher than S, then we could put Blaster in there. I think I'm going to probably go D tier. His ability is not very creative. It's basically just a bunch of guns that he can shoot you with. I mean, it's, you know, they're Nen bullets. They're not bad. There are limits. He can't bust through the bulkhead walls downstairs. He can blast through like a car pretty easily. He can just Swiss cheese a car with no issues. But when it comes to like a really durable door, he can't break through that. So I'm going to put C, maybe C or D. I think D. I think D is good. All right, here we go, Cheetu. Oh, Cheetu, buddy. My goodness. All right. So Cheetu actually has multiple Nen abilities. He actually has an ability that we've never actually seen. So Cheetu, he has first ability is called Tag. And he sends his opponent into another like little pocket dimension made of Nen. And the game is a game of tag. And if you catch him, you're allowed to leave. But we don't really know what happens if the time elapses and you don't catch him. I don't even know if, honestly, Cheetu ever even thought that far ahead because he's kind of an idiot. So then Morel traps him, and then he comes up with another ability that summons a crossbow, kind of like a crossbow Wolverine claw gauntlet on his arm. And he got really excited about that, and he's like, I got this new ability! And it's like, yeah, but the bolts that you're going to fire from that crossbow are going to be slower than you. So why would you want that ability? And Morel basically told him, you know, I'll tell you why you're going to lose here. It's because you're an idiot. And then he loses. Then he runs off and purportedly gets another ability and then goes to fight against Zeno as he's leaving the palace. And then Silva just shows up out of nowhere and crushes him. He does, I think it's called Monroe Walk. He does have another ability he does name, or it's named later, but we just have no idea what it actually does. I think we just know the name of it, and that's it. I don't know if it's related to Marilyn Monroe or whatever, but that's the ability he has. Cheetu is an example of a guy that is so idiotic when it comes to Nen. He just thinks of the first thing that pops into his head without actually stopping and trying to come up with a good ability. He's like, I want an ability that where they have to play tag with me. Now I want an ability that makes a crossbow. Now I want an ability, like he just doesn't stop and think for 5 seconds about how the ability is actually going to work or the logistics of said ability or the weaknesses or ways it could be exploited. He's just a really just spur of the moment kind of character, all right? So I'm going to put him in trash. I'm sorry, Cheetu. You really suck. Cheetu, if you would have stopped for an hour and thought a little bit more about these abilities, maybe you could have come up with something cooler. Oh, man. Oh, but hey, Cheetu, there you go. All right. All right, so who's up next, guys? We got the leader of the Phantom Troop, Chrollo Lucilfer. And I actually have back here, the Bandit's Secret. I have it right here. It's pretty cool, actually. I can look inside of it. I can tell you what's in it. I can tell you what actually the secret of Chrollo's Nen ability is. It's actually a cookbook. Turns out he's into cooking. This whole time it was a cookbook. Who knew? Who knew? All right. Domain expansion, Cheetu. All right, so I mean, like, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to agree he's going in S tier, right? I could just pop him in there right now. The thing is, like, Chrollo not only has a badass ability that allows him to steal other abilities, but the thing is also, he has a bunch of supplemental powers that go along with it. He's got the bookmark that he reveals later to have access to more than one ability at a time. Although he does mention during the Hisoka fight, he has more restrictions because of that. Okay? But he can now use his abilities without the book staying open constantly. So that was one drawback. He literally when he wanted to use a stolen ability, he literally had to have the book open at all times, so that takes up one of his hands while he's using it. So he had to He had to do that. But, dude, the ability, like, he literally was able to kill Hisoka by going around and stealing abilities that were perfectly suited to fighting him. Now, there are some limitations with this. Like, he had that one ability called, what was it? Gallery Fake? No, not Gallery Fake. That was Kortopi's. He had an ability that allowed him to manipulate objects, but it wouldn't work on living people, because the original user of the Nen ability didn't view people as objects, obviously, so it wouldn't work. So he was kind of limited to using the power based off of the original user's perception of the power. Also, if the original user dies, he loses the power. Apparently, Neon, who has the fortune-telling ability, apparently she's dead at some point. She just dies, and the name disappeared from his book, so now he can't use the fortune-telling power anymore. Sun and Moon, or Order Stamp. That was it. Order Stamp was the power. Yeah. So, in order to use Order Stamp... Now, Chrollo is really smart in like, circumventing these restrictions, because he's like, okay, I can't use Order Stamp on a person or on a corpse, but what I can use is use Kortopi's ability to make a copy of the person, and the copy of the person is something that will work with Order Stamp. So it's like he had to like figure out a way to combine all these abilities to make it work right. But yeah, dude, how the hell did she die? We don't know, because Togashi does that. He'll just be like, oh yeah, this happened off screen. That happens a lot in Hunter x Hunter, actually. More than you'd think. Yeah. But anyway, that's Chrollo. I mean, being at S tier, I think that's pretty fair for him. Okay, we got Feitan coming up next. So Feitan, Porter, has the power of Pain Packer. So he takes all the damage that he was kind of like exerted on himself during a fight, and it apparently has a few different ways that this power is shown. Like, the way that we see it against Zazan is it comes out as Rising Sun, literally a giant sun that burns everything around it. Like, all of the Phantom Troop member had to get the hell out of there because he was like about to drop a huge like nuke right in the middle of the damn building. So he even mentions, though, afterwards, like, if you would have dealt me more damage, this would have been a quicker fight. You would have died quicker if you would have dealt me more damage, implying that there's an even greater form of this technique. Feitan is one of the Phantom Troop members that has some of the most, like, impressive raw physical strength outputted on him. Okay. So, I'm thinking S tier right now. A or S. One of the two. I mean, like, he was able to summon a miniature version of the sun that just nuked Zazan in one attack. And he's also a psychopath, which also makes his power maybe a little bit more useful there. I'm thinking if he should be an S. A or S. I'm thinking maybe A. Yeah, I'm thinking S should be, like, the absolute strongest, you know? And I feel like Chrollo in a fight would be able... See, that's the thing, like, Chrollo under the right conditions can pretty much beat anybody if he goes around and collects the necessary amount of Nen abilities. It's like, you know, completing a puzzle. I feel like with the right amount of preparation and Nen abilities on stock, he could beat... I don't know, like, here's the thing. If Chrollo had the necessary amount of abilities, could he have beat Meruem? That's a question. If Chrollo had enough time to, like, understand Meruem's abilities, so he's like, all right, I'm going to go away for a while, and I'm going to gather the necessary amount of abilities that are going to work perfectly against this dude, could he have beaten him? Because I'm still thinking no. I'm still on the cuff about that. Yeah, I'm not... Even with that, it's really narrow. That's tough. Because, like, he could get all these abilities, but, like... Yeah, time just benefits Meruem more. Yeah, because Meruem gets stronger when he devours more people. Yeah. But that's why I kind of need, like, can we get, like, another tier on top of this? The Meruem tier? Well, we could just reorganize. Like, we could do, like, maybe I could put Feitan over here, like, below Abengane. You know, something like this, maybe. You know, maybe, like, something like that. Yeah, Meruem is just insanely broken. You know how we have a trash tier? We need a Meruem tier. We just need a straight-up Meruem tier. 100 puppets with rose bombs. Yeah, you know what? Meruem canonically was defeated by a nuke. Like, he came back from being nuked, but that's only because, like, Poof and Youpi were there to give their bodies over to Meruem. If Meruem was just left there, he would have died, and he died anyway because of the nuke. You know, Chrollo, what if Chrollo just makes a bunch of puppets, puts nukes in the puppets, and sends them after Meruem? I think he would be smart enough to come up with that shit. I think in that situation, he might be able to do it. Yeah. Yeah, Meruem was defeated by nuclear radiation. He was defeated by radiation, yeah. Then Chrollo wins. Like, Chrollo would not fight fair. He's fucking Chrollo. Do you think he's like, I'm gonna fight you in a fair and balanced manner? No, he lured Hisoka to Heaven's Arena just so he could utilize the entire crowd as his advantage. That was not a fair fight. That was not like, all right, everyone, 10 count, whoever gets knocked down for 10 seconds wins. Go. And actually, no, that was a fight to the death, but he utilized the arena to fight, with him, Meruem cannot survive World War II. Yeah. All right, anyway, who's up next? We're going to get off on a tangent about that. We'll talk about that more when we get to Meruem. Who's up next? Fluter. Okay, Fluter has a really solid reconnaissance ability. Satellite dragonflies allow him to have a bunch of drones, like invisible drones that he can send all over the area. I guess they're not invisible. If you can see Nen, you could see them, but they just look like dragonflies. So he has like a shitload of these things that he could send in around an entire town, and he could see through all of them like through the compound eye he has. So like multiple computer monitors at all times. He can like see like 100 screens at once. That is a good ability. It's a reconnaissance ability. It's not a combat ability. I'm putting him in B. In terms of reconnaissance powers, that's like one of the best ones you could possibly think of. That is a really powerful ability. It's just that it's not combat based. You just got to keep that in mind. We're doing best Nen abilities. We're not basing it off of like, strength, because if that was the case, then like, a lot of these guys would be down in trash by now. Yeah. What's the best criteria? This was kind of a last minute thing, so I didn't really think of like a criteria, but I would say basically the criteria is for what the ability is and how the ability was created. So in the case of like Cheetu, he doesn't think about anything before he creates the power, so he's way down in trash. So I would imagine creativity is going to play a role, but also just like, hey, for the function of an exorcism ability and the rarity of it, Abengane is pretty high. For the function of a support ability plus having some physical power, Biscuit is pretty high. Yeah. The dragonflies can be achieved by using N. Not really, because N taxes you immensely. Nen, you are the center point when using N, all right? So the advantage of using satellite dragonflies is because you can send them out on a long range. Because while using N, you have to actually send out your aura around you. And even Zeno mentioned that is exhausting. Kite, who was mentioned to be a master of N, he's like, oh, like I can extend it to maybe 80 meters or something. Now, Meruem's, okay, this actually gives you a pretty good idea of N. Meruem, when he used his N, covered the entire palace and then some. The palace plus the outside of the palace was covered in Meruem's N, and that was insane, okay? However, I think the range of the satellite dragonflies is still greater, because the range of satellite dragonflies was able to cover an entire like major city, like the capital of East Gorto. He had these things covered in dragonflies. So yeah, I think it's worth at least a B tier. All right, what's next? We have, also N can overwhelm the senses. Finks mentioned that too. If you have that going on all at the same time, because like you are the sensor, you basically open up a sense around you where everything that enters, that can be very overwhelming to your senses. Satellite dragonflies is literally just like drones with cameras that you can send out that you can see at all times. Okay, anyway, what's up next? Yeah, I would say satellite dragonflies is better than N. Unless you're Meruem, it's better than N. Okay, next up, we have Franklin. Franklin has a it's 50 meters? It was just 50. Still, long range. Okay, Franklin, pretty simple emitter ability. He just turns his fingers into machine guns. So his fingers he literally had to cut off all of his fingers at like the first knuckle. and then he replaced them with chains, and then they all pop off at the same time, and he's just like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But they shred the shit out of you when they hit. All right, there is some raw power in this ability, and he had to cut off the top of his fingers to make that happen. All right, I'm gonna say he's a Phantom Troop member. Those from what we saw with those bullets, they would shred you. They're a lot stronger than like Blaster. Blaster's cannons have nothing. I mean, yeah, Franklin's, they're way stronger than Blaster. All right, so it's either C or B. But I'm thinking B. I think like I want to do the Phantom Troop some justice here, right? I don't want to just like, not put them up there, like, whatever. So I think I'm gonna put Franklin B. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, the American way. Yeah, it's like yeah, unless your Meruem could apply to a lot of things, honestly. Yeah, Meruem could pretty much do anything, and it's like his own league, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that reconnaissance ability is pretty good unless you're Meruem. Yeah, that support ability is pretty good unless you're Meruem. Okay, what's up next? Genthrou. All right, Genthrou. He has two abilities. One is Countdown, where he has an ability that he has to touch you and then he plants a bomb on you. Now, there is a caveat to this where in order for the ability to work, he has to explain to you how it's deactivated. So, but that's by design because Genthrou is a sociopath. He's a sick fuck that gets off on that, but also like he is telling you how to disarm it. He's literally telling you its weakness, which increases its power. He literally tells you, if you want to disarm that, you have to touch me and say, I caught the bomber. But because he's telling you its weakness, when it finally goes off, it's way stronger because he's telling you how to deactivating it. All right? Then he also has Little Flower, which is just a generic bomb ability, like he touches you and you blow up. Keep in mind, that has less power, and it's also an actual explosion, because the way Gon got around that was he doused Genthrou in gasoline, and then he's like, oh, I can't use Little Flower now because I'm covered in a flammable liquid. So if I use Little Flower, I will catch on fire from the fumes of the gasoline. So Little Flower literally is creating combustion. It's not like magic Nen fire that doesn't apply to... No, he's literally creating an explosion. He's literally like Bakugo with his Little Flower technique. Yeah. So, oh man. And Genthrou, by the way, here's something else to keep in mind. It was explained time and time and time again in Greed Island. In a one-on-one fight between Gon and Genthrou with no preparation, Genthrou is stronger. Genthrou has more experience. Genthrou is stronger. The only way that Gon was able to win was because they gave Tisgara's group stalled Genthrou and his group for 2 fucking weeks while Biscuit and Killua and Gon planned this very, very elaborate, very down to the microsecond plan with a shitload of preparation time to defeat him. All right? That is how they beat Genthrou. Without that it was 3 weeks. Oh, damn, my knowledge of Hunter x Hunter is not as good. But 3 weeks of prep time, and even then, Gon still got fucked up pretty bad, all right? Like, even then, yeah. So I don't want you to say something like, oh, he lost to Greed Island Gon, therefore he's like D tier. No. The circumstances of that fight were very, very planned out. Not an ordinary kind of fight that you can imagine, right? And Gon almost lost an arm. Well, he did lose an arm. No, it's not almost. He lost an arm there. They were able to get it back because of Angel's Breath, but Gon 100% lost an arm. Oh, man. Also tells you just the crazy power Nen is capable of, where it just can repair blown off limbs like that. Yeah. Gon went full Batman and barely won. Exactly. Yeah, he went off plan. Yeah, well, that's a good example. Gon went off the plan and he got his arm blown off. There you go. Yeah, they had this whole plan, and Gon was even like, all right, I'm sorry, Bisky, I'm going to have to do it even though it's going to be a risk. And he went off the plan and he almost immediately got his arm blown off. Like, if Genthrou would have grabbed his arm, like grabbed his chest or his chin, he could have blown off Gon's head. Gon was taking a serious risk with that. It worked out. It worked out, but it really showed, like, you're playing with fire here, kid. All right, you're walking on a tightrope with this guy, okay? Without the plan, Gon would have died. Absolutely, 100%. Unless they had that plan. If Gon just rolled up to Genthrou and fought him, Genthrou would have killed him. They're not even... And Genthrou is a much of a psychopath and a sociopath to make that happen. All right? He would have not have given a shit about murdering a child. He would have done it with a smile on his face. All right? So, I think he deserves to go in at least B. Holy crap. You know, I think he's pretty damn good. All right, who's next? Gido. The top guy. Oh my god. All right, so this is a dude that is an enhancer who decided that the best way to use an enhancement ability was to get a bunch of tops, then use manipulation to control the tops to slam into his opponent. You know, Wing explains and Hisoka explains later, like, enhancers don't really need to think they don't need to think a lot about their superpowers. All right, enhancers are just really simple, straightforward kind of people. It's surprising that Cheetu is not an enhancer, actually. Maybe he was, and that's just why he sucks so bad. He was an enhancer that kept trying to do conjuration abilities. But, oh yeah, and a mission, too. Like... Yeah. Gido was trying to do some really elaborate, like, he was an enhancer that was trying to do some really complicated ability when he should have just focused on, like, he could have just, like, you know, he was on one leg. He lost both of his legs, so he was on, like, a prosthetic leg. He probably should have focused all of his Nen abilities on just himself becoming the top. That way you get rid of the manipulation, you get rid of the emission, just focus on your enhancement, turn yourself into a top, and slam into your opponent really good. You get the same basic effect and way more Nen, what's the best way for me to describe this? Nen economy, I guess. Your Nen economy is really good, I guess. Yeah, just turn yourself into a Beyblade. Why control by... I will use my power to make a bunch of Beyblades. It's like, just become the Beyblade, sir. Oh, man. Output. Nen output. Yeah. Nen efficiency. Nen economy. I like Nen economy. It sounds like, you know, like some, like, RPG term or whatever. Yeah. That's why they were able to become much stronger than normal. True. But he was overthinking it, I think. It was, like I said, well, that's the point. If he became the Beyblade himself, and that's how he fought, he didn't use the other tops. If he only focused on that, that would actually be a pretty good ability. Because he was wasting Nen on manipulation, wasting Nen on emission. Just focus on enhancement, dude. You lost your legs, you're already a top to begin with. That would actually be a really good ability if he just focused on that. Yeah. So, I'm putting him in D tier. He sucks. All right, who's next? Gon! All right. So, where are we ranking Gon? I really wish there were two Gons on here. Gon that was, you know, like post-Greed Island, Chimera Ant Gon, and then adult Gon. But there's only one Gon. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of people... Okay, some people are saying S. But I think a lot of people are understanding Gon is not even close to being the strongest Nen user in this world. Okay? Like, literally when he sacrificed everything, he gave up everything and made a fate worse than death. At that point, he was at a point where he could defeat Pito. And yes, Pito did say he could even challenge the king. But to be fair, we didn't really see how that would go down. Pito did not say, oh my god, Gon is so strong, he's even stronger than the king in this form. Didn't say that. Pito didn't say that. Pito just said he could challenge the king. All right? Didn't say, or he could threaten the king. It didn't say, oh my god, Gon in this form is 10 times stronger than Meruem or something. All right? He destroyed Pito. Actually, you know what's funny? He did destroy Pito, wrecked Pito's shit, but Pito was still able to get an attack on Gon, even after the fact. Yeah, okay, so... But that is literally using a power that sacrifices everything. Like, Gon cannot use Nen now. Like, he just can't, all right? He just is not able to use it. And it's like, that's because he literally burned everything using that one power. Gon might just like be out of the series from here on out. He's just done. He's just like, okay, Gon, you literally traded in your main character card to defeat Pito. You are no longer the main character of this manga. Kurapika is now. That's kind of what Gon did. Honestly, if Gon was no longer in this story, that is the end of Gon's story arc. I'd be 100% cool with it. I actually would be. He traded in his main character status to beat the enemy. Now he's not in the story anymore. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine with that being the consequence of it. You know? Gon is Shanks level. I mean, like, with the power, maybe. Yeah, that was part of the contract. I want to defeat Pito so bad. I'll suffer a fate worse than death. I'm no longer the main character of my series! No, Gon, don't do it! Yeah, I would be okay with seeing Gon again, like Gon back together with Leorio and Kurapika and Killua. That would be cool to see him again, but he's no longer, in terms of like battle capabilities, he's no longer relevant. Yeah. Oh, boy, this is tough, kid. Gon, you're making this tough on me. You're letting your feelings of his decision. I'm not letting the feelings of his decision. It was a good I mean, in that point, in order to defeat Pito, I guess it was the right decision, but he lost his net. I'm not basing it off that. I am thinking of his, like, Jajanken and stuff. I'm just thinking, like, physically, where is he in terms of power? Like taking that form away from it, like, how strong was Gon just in the Chimera Ant arc before he used the contract? Could he have defeated Hisoka? Could he have defeated Chrollo? I don't think so. I don't think he could have defeated some of the top tier users. So I'm thinking of honestly putting him in either A or B. I mean, we can reorganize these. Yeah. You have to look at the context. See, that's the thing why, I mean, even if I sat down and tried to come up with a criteria, that would be tough because there's so many different facets of Nen. He has a basic ability, but it's an enhancer ability. All enhancer abilities, the best enhancer abilities are all basic as shit. Uvogin had a super basic ability. It was just a really big punch, but it was a punch he mentioned that pretty much no one on the planet could survive unscathed, and he was kind of right, okay? Yeah, I'm going to put him in B for right now. I think B is good. Can he learn Nen again? He can't even use his aura right now. His aura doesn't even come out when he tries to use it. So the idea is he can't relearn Nen. And Gene even told him, like, hey, you just went back to normal. It's probably best not to get greedy. It's probably best just to stay as you are, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, we do get super chats here. Adult Gon is hacks. He got all the power he'd ever accumulated later in life, meaning it compounded his strength, making him stronger than he'd ever actually be in his natural prime. I think that can also be understood, like kind of like an idea that he's compressing everything together. Do we have any other things here? Royal Guard and Netero are all S tier to me, and Meruem in his own tier. I could see Netero even souling the Phantom Troop by himself. Thoughts? Do you mean Netero versus every single member of the Phantom Troop at once? God, that's tough. That's really tough for me. And there's also a lot of members of the Phantom Troop we don't know anything about as well. Yeah. I don't know about that. I'd have to think about that. Good meeting you at Techo. I just want to ask you, how do you feel about how popular anime has gotten? Love your content. You know, I am really happy that anime is now super mainstream. You know, it was pretty mainstream when I was like in middle school, when I was getting into it. If I was like a teenager in the 90s, it probably would have been pretty tough to get, you know, anime. I mean, like when I was in school, English dubs took forever to come out. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you wanted to watch an episode of Bleach with the Arankars, you had to wait like 3 years for that episode to come out. I watched an episode of Dr. Stone the other day that was simulcasted English dub with the Japanese release. That shit blows my mind. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy of how anime became so much more mainstream now. Hunter x Hunter, let's go. Yeah. At this point, what's your opinion on My Hero Academia? I like My Hero Academia. I don't want to get off into a tangent, but right now where we're at in the manga, the fight in the manga, I'm really enjoying it. Yes. But all right, I wanted to take a break there just to read some super chats. Yes, Dr. Stone is simul-dubbed? Yeah, it is. It was incredible. It comes out every Thursday morning in case you want to go check that out. All right. What do we got here? Okay. What are we leaving Gon here? We leaving Gon on B? Okay, I think that's fair. We'll leave Gon on B. Who's coming up next? We got Hina. Hina is another Chimera Ant. She's actually the most human-looking Chimera Ant. And she also has exorcism abilities. It's like pretty much the only thing she has. She was able to exorcise Knuckles' Hakaware, the Chapter 7 bankruptcy. She was able to exorcise that from Cheetu, which is a strong ability. It's nowhere near as strong as like Kurapika's chains or the Nen contract that Gon made. Nowhere near that. Out of all of the exorcism feats, hers is probably the least impressive because the Hakaware is just not as like strong as those abilities. Oh man, Hisoka's coming, ladies and gentlemen. I think we just kind of want to get through. Hina here, in order to get to Hisoka. I'll put Hina at C because she is an exorcist, but you know we don't know what the upper limits of what she could exorcise is. You know, and whenever she does exercise Nen, she kind of like, her stomach expands, kind of like she's pregnant, and then it slowly deflates over time. Okay, here we are. We have arrived at Hisoka. All right, first of all, we need to figure out what his Nen ability even does. So his ability is Bungee Gum, that has the power of something and something, but I just don't know what it does. It's like Pot of Greed. It has properties. I know it has properties, but what kind of properties? Tagashi, why don't you reveal this power already? Oh my goodness. Properties of chocolate? Oh no. Properties of metal? No. Latex and candy? Oh, man. Honey and lime? Lime and coconut? He puts the lime in the coconut? Oh, man, it's tough. All right. Have you seen Hisoka's backstory? I actually have read the manga. It was a while ago, but I did read the backstory manga with Hisoka. It's about what you'd expect it to be. Okay, so his power is one of the ones that's very multifaceted. It's a very basic ability, rubber and gum, but the ways he uses that in this story are ways that, you know, he always is one step ahead of his opponent, okay? The only time Hisoka has ever lost a fight straight up was against Chrollo, without him just getting bored and, like, wandering away. You know, like, that was kind of the situation with Hisoka. And like I said, Chrollo had to go out of his way to beat Hisoka. That was not an easy win for Chrollo. He had to accrue a lot of Nen abilities to make that work. Because fighting Hisoka, he knew would be a pain in the ass. And it was. All right? But he is one of the strongest Nen. He is, time and time again, kind of referred to as one of the best Nen users in the world. He's very creepy, yes, but we're not ranking the characters based on their creepiness. Because if that's the case, in creepiness, he would be an S tier. You know. He inspired Frankie's strong right. He did. He truly did. Don't forget. And he has Texture Surprise that was able to, you know, he is able to cover random things to make it look like other stuff. So he's very good at subterfuge, and he's really good at misdirection. He is like a magician, after all. He does know legitimate like magic tricks that can like misdirect people. He also literally had a power that restarted his heart after he died. He literally was dead as a doornail, as Machi said. Yep, dead as a doornail. He's gone. Heart stopped and everything. Literally used his Nem to bring him back to life. I mean, he literally brought himself back to life with his fucking power. I feel like S tier needs to be... He needs to be at S tier. He needs to be. He brought himself back to life! He was dead for like 3 hours and he came back to life. Oh my god. I think S tier is fair. And you know what? It's another thing too where if you were going to put that fight between Chrollo and Hisoka, let's say like they fought 50 times in like parallel dimensions, Chrollo's not winning that 100 times. I know people got pissed when I said like when Usopp fought Luffy out of 100 times, maybe Usopp wins a couple of times out of that. A lot of people were like, no, Luffy's winning 100 out of 100 fights there. Okay, all right, whatever. But yeah, sure, I'll give it to you on that one. But Hisoka versus Chrollo, that is not a Chrollo stomps 100 out of 100 fights. I'm dying on this hill. All right? Maybe he wins the majority, but Hisoka's getting his wins in that scenario. Absolutely. Oh, man. Okay, postmortem Nen only applies when you're dead, right? Well, no. I mean, he might be stronger now that he has postmortem Nen. Yeah. Chrollo said he's 100% sure of victory. Well, he can't see the fucking future now, can he? Oh, wait, he could. Shit. Wait a minute. He might have been able to see the future at this point. Well, I don't know, because at some point the fortune-telling thing disappeared, so maybe he had that ability before he went to go fight Hisoka. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Yeah, based in only the creativity and ability to use Nen and not just how strong one is, Hisoka is the Nen user. He's also really strong too, though. Like physically, and he has enhancement powers with the cards themselves. He is a transmuter. Transmuter is right next to enhancement, so enhancement's definitely a thing. And conjuration, which he doesn't really use the conjuration ability. No, I guess he uses conjuration for texture surprise. I guess he basically uses conjuration for that. So he's really smart, though, with how he utilizes his Nen. Transmutation, making it rubber and gum, elasticity, and the stickiness of his gum. He keeps it with transmutation, but he has enhancement for the playing cards, and he keeps conjuration for the texture surprise. He keeps it to his wheelhouse. He knows how to use Nen very well. Yes. Oh, man. So, yeah, I think S tier needs to be there. Okay. Who's next? Ikago. I'm getting hungry. I need to order food soon. All right, Ikago is next. Living dead dolls. He's able to manipulate corpses by crawling inside of them and manipulating them, and then he has this ability where he can transform their arms into air guns that he can fire these little flea bullets. However, the flea bullets can only be used when he is possessing a body. Okay, so if he's not possessing a body, he could still use the air gun, but only as like an air gun. Like he can load like little fragments into him, but I don't think he can use the flea bullets unless he's got a body to incubate. And he has a lot of other abilities, like just being an octopus, but that's because, you know, he's a chimera ant. That's not because of his Nen power. That's just because he's a chimera ant. Yeah, and if the corpse is too mangled, he can't do shit to it. That's right. He even mentions that, like, he sees the corpses that were mangled by Killua, and he's like, I can't use these. Killua really fucked up these corpses. Killua really shredded these corpses' heads. I can't use these at all. You know, oh my god. He, like, shredded there's like nothing left of their gray matter. Holy crap. I think at least the head still needs to be intact. The head still needs to be in good condition in order for him to use his ability. Yeah. C? How do we feel about high C there? High C. I'm gonna put Baise down here. Hina a little bit up. Basho. I'm gonna do a little bit of this for C tier, like organizing C tier a little bit here. For B tier, I feel like maybe this might be good for B tier. I think I give Genthrou a lot of credit. He's a psychopath, but I give him a lot of credit for his Nen ability. I think it's a lot stronger than you might think just because he was defeated by Gon. Yeah. I'm actually really happy with this arrangement here. I'm gonna put Bloster in top T. Put Boki here. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. He can use the abilities of those he takes over. That is right. He's able to use the other Nen powers of those corpses he takes over. That might make him low B, because that itself is really good. Any power that allows you to use other powers is really fucking good. You know? I think putting him up here then might be good, just because of that power. Oh, that is really good. He was able to use the entire ability of Satellite Dragonflies when he took over Fluter. All right. Who's next? We got Itachi Uchiha. Itachi's ability. Oh, I mean Illumi. Sorry. Yeah. Black-haired older brother that, is really powerful. Sorry. Default to Itachi. All right. Illumi's powers. He has 3 sets of needles. 1 set of needles, he can manipulate his appearance. 1 set of needles is the one, like the little sewing needle he implanted in Killua's head to manipulate him. Very toxic dick thing to do, by the way. And also, he has the abilities that allow him to turn people into needle people. So basically, he kills people and makes their corpses work for him, like marionettes kind of thing. Him and Hisoka kind of have a love-hate kind of relationship, kind of a give-and-take sort of relationship, really. Where right now, Illumi was actually contracted by Hisoka to kill Hisoka. So that's kind of what they're into. Yeah, he could change his own appearance really well, too. I think Illumi in A tier is fair, but I have a feeling if they two... Okay, Chrollo fights Hisoka, Chrollo wins, the majority out of 100 fights. Hisoka fights Illumi. I feel like Hisoka would win the majority out of those 100 fights. I think Hisoka would win. Yes. No, I don't know if he can use other people's Nen abilities with the needles. I don't think we've seen that power. Maybe he could do something like that, but I don't know if we've seen that. He used the needle abilities on just other, like, random civilians, like just normal Joes that didn't really have Nen powers. Yeah. Sasuke is just Diet Kurapika. Yeah, I think Illumi in S tier, though. I mean, he's also kind of psychotic. That scene where he was on top of the roof and he was just like, I must have this power. He's just like letting it all out and like the aura is just oozing off of him. I'm like, all right, dude, yeah. I don't think we've come even close to seeing his full power when he's on that. Holy shit, he's going crazy. I give Illumi S. I think he's worth it. Also member of the Phantom Troop right now. He took over Uvogene's spot. Okay, Kalluto. Youngest, not the youngest. I think he's older than Aluka. But youngest child, I guess, that they would acknowledge of the Zoldyck family. He has the power of the, well, what's it called? There's a couple of characters, like, it's Gami, something Gami, to manipulate paper. Yeah, so he has a power that allows him to track other people using paper and confetti, can also take the confetti into... Oh, no, he is the straight-up youngest, even younger than Aluka. Okay, all right, I mixed that up. Anyway, Aluka is older than Kalluto. Okay, all right. Anyway, also has an ability that honestly was pretty underwhelming for me. He took all the confetti and, like, swirled it around and then used it like a tornado to rip off one of the Chimera Ant's arms. So it was, like, a lot of prep time only to, like, cut off one of their arms, which is, like, all right. And then eventually killed them using another technique like that. But it just, compared to a lot of other Nen abilities of the Zoldicks, why paper of all things? Yeah, that's another thing, too. Yeah. Uses Nen emission to receive data from the paper pieces. It's really better. Honestly, I think it's better at reconnaissance, because that's also the way they found Abengane during Greed Island, was using Kalluto's ability. Was ability to find him. And he was also able to track the members of the Phantom Troop without them knowing, which is also kind of a thing. So, yeah, I just feel like in terms of, if we're rating it on power, I feel like it's a C, like bottom of C. But with the other aspects of the power that's not just physical strength and like cutting things up, I think it's B, and I think it's a little... I think you're right. I think it's slightly better than the Dragonflies. Slightly better than that. And also Kalluto is pretty young, so like the power will grow a lot stronger later on if Kalluto is the youngest member of the Zoldicks. Yeah, that's the power, and it's probably like weaker state right now. Yeah, it's so slow though. Well, the attacking power is slow. The tracing and tracking reconnaissance abilities are just placing the paper on somebody, and apparently it's pretty indistinguishable. Like, you can't tell it's there. Yeah. Also, you could look into Kalluto, you know, like playing with the ant, like not going full power. Because Kalluto inherited a lot of bad traits from his mom, Kikyo, where it was like, oh, kind of the arrogance of like, because there was a moment there where Kalluto was like, yeah, I'm stronger than a lot. I'm going to show how strong I am to the Phantom Troop. And then he shows up and is like, oh, shit, they're really powerful. Oh, damn. All right. Yeah. Do they have paper bombs? I mean, like, could they do something like that? Maybe, but we haven't seen it, so I can't rate them for powers that they haven't shown. Like, they would probably have paper bomb abilities like Conan. I mean, like, maybe eventually, but, like, I don't think... We didn't see anything like that, so I can't rate it on a power they hypothetically might have. Yeah. We haven't seen it yet, yeah. Okay. Kastro's coming up next, and then we got Killua. All right, I'm going to order some food here in a second. All right, Kastro, real dumbass with his power. He's like, I'm an enhancer, but I'm going to make a power that hinges on manipulation and conjuration. Yeah, that's really great. It's so funny that so many people, like Wing is explaining how Nen works and the different types operate on each other, and immediately we're like, Kastro is a trained Nen user that forgot one of the most basic Nen lessons. If you're a manipulator, don't try to do transmutation shit. If you're an enhancer, don't try to do conjuration shit. It's pretty simple. All right? And he also, okay, to be fair though, he wasn't exactly weak. All right? He wasn't weak. He won a lot of fights at Heaven's Arena. And he even kind of, I feel like Hisoka was kind of fucking with him, kind of manipulating him a little bit there. He wasn't really going all out either. Hisoka, he lost an arm, but he kind of hired Machi in advance because he was kind of like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose some limbs during this fight. I better hire Machi to fix me up after the fact. Yeah. He did have 6 straight victories in the 200s after Hisoka. Yeah, that's true. I feel like putting him in A is too much. I don't think Kastro going in A is too high. His enhancement was strong enough to tear off limbs. That is true, but like, there's like everybody pretty much above B tier can do that. Maybe putting him at top of C might be good. Like doing something like that. Top of C, because, it's like one of those things where it's like you have a strong Nen user, but he went up against Hisoka. You know what I mean? It's like you could have a really strong Nen user go up against Meruem. They're going to get their shit stomped in, and it's not really even going to be a fight, all right? That doesn't mean they're weak. It just means you're not in the best of the best. You're not at the highest tier, okay? It just means there are literal, sometimes figurative, and sometimes literal monsters in the world. By the way, I'm using literal and figurative in the sense of like Hisoka is more of a monster than Meruem was by the end of the story. I'm going to head out soon before I go. Can you rate Feitan from Phantom Troop? His Rising Sun is one of my favorite abilities. Well, we already rated Feitan, and he is top of A tier right now. So have a good night, Deshaun. Have a good one, man. Can you leave this up? I'll leave this one up. Yeah, sure. I'll leave this one up. Yeah. It just means like, it means Kastro was not set out to be a like one of the greatest Nen users of all time. Although I think Wing did say that if he would have mastered the Tiger Bite Fist with enhancement, he might have been in maybe the highest category of enhancers, maybe, if he didn't like squander his potential. But you know what the great thing about Nen is? He can go back. He can go away and train and get rid of the whole double shit. That's the great thing about Nen. It's like, as long as you're alive. Wait, did Hisoka kill him? Wait a minute. Did Hisoka I think he just straight up killed him. I think Kastro's dead. Yeah. But okay, had Hisoka not killed him, he could have went away back to the drawing board and he could have tried something else. Yeah, Kastro's dead. Shit. All right. Yeah, you're not restarting your heart on this one, Kastro. Yeah, Hisoka killed him. All right. I still don't think I get that comment from Wing. I think just Wing meant that He was a really naturally talented enhancer. He just squandered his potential. Same thing with Gido. He focused on other categories that made him lose focus on his enhancement. If he would have just focused on enhancement and the Tiger Bite Fist, it would have been really powerful. Yeah. No post-mortem for Kastro. All right. All right, we're up to Killua now, so I'm gonna give you guys a moment to think about Killua. I am going to order some food because I'm really hungry right now. Should have ordered some of it before I did this, but I apologize. What am I in the mood for? Guys, what should I order? There's not a lot of places around here. I live out in the sticks. I'm thinking a burger right now. Red Robin would be good. Red Robin's good, but their burgers are so... I mean, their burgers. I love that Royal Red Robin with the little egg on top. Oh, that's so good. Pizza! Dude, I could go for some pizza right now. I could chomp down on some pizza right now. I could order some pizza, and that's actually a food I can eat on camera, too. I can eat that on stream, because if I get something kind of too, like sushi or something, that might be a little bit... I could eat sushi. Yeah, I could do that. I don't know. Taco Bell. Can't go wrong with pizza. It's been a while since I had pizza. I might just do pizza. Below Feitan and above Bisky. Barbecue. Got that good Q. Pizza's good right now, man. You know what else? Oh, you know what else that pizza place around me makes? They make a really good grilled cheese. They have this thing called the adult grilled cheese. It's like grilled cheese with meat in it and like some really good onion rings from that. Ah, man, God, I'm hungry. Oh man. All right. I had pizza last night. I might go with that. I don't know. This is welcome to my life. Welcome to every dinner time for me. When I'm not cooking, it's just me sitting around for 20 minutes like, what do I want? Do I want to go drive somewhere? Do I want to cook? Do I want to order? Do I want to... That grilled cheese does sound good. I think I might go with that. That's something I can eat here. All right. All right. Let's see. Onion rings. Oh, yeah. Onion rings. That is really good. Onion rings is some good shit. All right. Cooking is overrated. I made some really good, I love making breakfast at night. I love making like eggs, sausage, some really good buttered toast. I love making that shit at night. It's really good. All right, let's see. Oh my god, oh, there it is. Okay. You disrespect Sanji. I do, I'm horrible. Alright, what do they got here? The adult grilled cheese. Oh, damn, that looks so good. Oh, yeah. Grilled sourdough, pulled roast beef, frizzled onions, mozzarella, provolone cheese, blend Swiss, roasted garlic aioli, and a side of au jus. Ah. Oh, my God. Oh, do they have the, do they have onion rings? They might not have onion rings. It's okay if they don't, though. Can go French fries. I think they just have French fries. Do we want guys? Do we want French fries or chips? Hold on. How many monitors do I have? Just 2. I'm using this on my phone. Hold on a minute. Oh god, this is very important. This is very important. Chips or fries? I know I'm spelling fries right, but I don't care. Chips or fries? Let's do the poll. What am I getting with this grilled cheese? Fries. Fries. Always fries. Always getting fries. All right, we're getting fries. Getting fries. Ooh, we can get another side. Oh, dude, we get fries with the fries. Get double fries. I could get a salad. Fuck it, I'm ordering a salad too. I'm getting a salad. Salad with my adult grilled cheese with fries. Gotta add something healthy on top of that. Let's get a salad. All right. Okay. Doot, doot, doot. Another one bites the dust. Doot, doot, doot. Another one bites the dust. Do 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 do. Another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get those fries. Another one bites the dust. I was rewatching the end of JoJo's Part 4 the other day when Kira died. Yeah, he was an asshole. All right, it's orders in. Shouldn't take too long to get that. All right. Okay. I'm going to go up and get a drink and just like a little snack, something to munch on. And then I'll come back down and then we'll do Killua. Where are we thinking about placing him? Killer Queen. Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, here it is. Okay, what was the consensus for Killua? I missed most of that. Go away. All right. Killua, I think, was A. Yeah, I honestly think Killua should go above Goad, honestly. Yeah. Killua being an A, I actually am agreeing with that. I actually agree that. A. Yeah. All right, well, let me go grab another drink, and I'll be right back. Whoa. What was the... with so many tabs open. When I do the charity stream, I am doing 3 monitors with that charity stream. I am hooking up 3 monitors for that. Confirm my order. Okay, cool. I'll be right back. Okay. Got some snacks. Got a little granola bar. We got some wasabi peas. My favorite little thing to snack on. Okay. Killua. You know what, Killua? I think you're stronger than Gon. I'll give it to you. There's always like an underlying thing throughout the story that Killua might be, like in terms of current Nen ability, because like Gon obviously with contracts and, you know, his potential is immense, but also is Killua's too. Killua, I just finished rewatching the Zoldyck arc, and like Zeno and Miluki both kind of agreed that Killua is the most talented Zoldyck born in like centuries, alright? So, like, yeah. Putting him at low A while Gon is sitting in B, I kind of agree with that. Once again, I think the feat of Abengane, you know, being able to remove Kurapika's Nen Chain, I think that's something very notable. Not putting him... Killua is high A. You think he's stronger than Feitan? He's definitely not stronger than Feitan, so if Killua was going to high A, Feitan's going to S. There's no way he's stronger than Feitan. Low A, not even middle A? I really like that Abengane feat. Yeah. I really feel comfortable putting Killua here. Stronger than Bisky? I don't know, man. I don't know. Is he stronger than Bisky? I would say no. Bisky has a tremendous amount of experience at her disposal. Yeah. Bisky wrecks Killua. Also, that's not a great comparison, because as Killua said in the story, he is really bad at dealing with older women. He's not great at it. Bisky is an older woman that is actually really good at, like, just pushing Killua's buttons, and he just doesn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would say, as he is right now, look, if we're looking into some hypothetical future, which we're not, but if we were looking into some hypothetical future like Killua at age 30 versus Bisky as she is right now in age 50, Killua winning, I would say, sure. But, like, he's, like, 12 at the start of the story. He's, like, maybe, like, 13, 14 at the end of it. That's the thing about Gon and Killua. They have a tremendous amount of potential because they're just kids when they learn Nen. Like, Wing is, like, they're, like, 1 in 100 million that they're able to know all this crap. All right? That they're able to pick up on everything like that. You know, future Gon and future Killua would be, like, S tiers. That's the idea. That's what makes it so impactful that Gon gave up his Nen in order to defeat Pito. That's what makes it so impactful in that story, because you understand throughout that story how much potential Gon has with Nen, and he threw all of that away so he could defeat one person. Yeah. I'm happy with Killua at low A. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Kite! Oh my god, Kite! I actually have, you can't see it, the tree's blocking it, but I do have crazy slots over here. Actually, I'm gonna pull out crazy slots, hold on. Alright. In my mouth is a roulette wheel with numbers 1 through 9. Get a different weapon for each number. I'm the great mad clown known as Crazy Slots. Oh my god, I love Crazy Slots so much. Alright. Crazy Slots. There he is. There he is. Alright. Okay, Kite... He got... I might have to restructure this tier list now that I'm thinking about it. I feel like we need some extra tiers on this tier list. Can I edit this? Hold on a minute. Let me take this off for a moment. I want to see if I can just edit this tier list, because this is kind of important here. If I can do that. I don't know. This website's weird with that sometimes. Sometimes you're allowed to do it. Sometimes you can't. Can I add one? I can. Good. All right, we need to revamp, because this was just a tier list that was added. Like, this was just the basic default. Yeah. Hold on, I'm keeping track of my food while I'm doing this. All right, so we're making some new tiers. We're going above S. What we're gonna make? What should go above S? Okay. Are we talking about Succession War or just 2011 anime? So it's the characters are just from the 2011, like the characters on the tier list. There's no characters from the Succession War arc. But if a character has done something, like once we get to Kurapika has shown stuff in the Succession War, that will be accounted for this. Okay. All right. Oh, that's a good one. All right. So we're going to go with no. We're going to make a new row here. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a row above. New row. We're going to call this next row God, maybe not God tier, double S plus. I don't like using SS because of reasons. You know, I'll go S plus, or we could go like, I don't know, amazing something, Star Hunter tier. Triple. Yeah, we could do that. We could do the triple stars. Yeah. Use OP. I could do OP. We'll do OP. OP tier. OP tier. Okay, and then I'm going to add one more row above that. And that's going to be the hacks tier. All right. Now, are we adding? I think that's okay. I think that's good. I don't think we need to add anything lower. Do we need anything higher? Do we need anything lower? We have S, A, B, C, D, trash. Do we need anything else? Like, should I throw an E tier in there or something below trash, like worse than trash? Like, you know. We do have mid tier. We do have mid. You know. The abyss. Is there anybody that deserves that much, though? Even Cheetu. Does Cheetu deserve that bad? You know? Yeah. Okay. Well, this is what I got. Let's go back to the screen here. Oh, what panel did I use? Ah, there it is. Okay. So this is what I added in. We got trash D, C, A, B, C. I mean, okay. I don't know how to count or do letters. Trash D, C, B, A, S. And then I added OP. And then I added hacks. All right? I'm just telling you right now, the hacks tier is pretty much right there for Meruem. Meruem is pretty much there for hacks, and that's kind of it. All right? All right. Now, do we have to rearrange anything here? Is the point that I'm trying to make here. Let's see. Yeah, I basically had to make a Meruem tier. All right. Let's see. Netero is going for hack. He might be in that one too. Do we want to put Chrollo in? Do we want to put Chrollo or Hisoka or Illumi or anybody? I don't know about Illumi, but do we want to put Chrollo in OP? Because I feel like he might qualify for that. Hisoka might too, honestly. I feel like moving up Chrollo to OP might not be a bad idea. Yeah, because his power is the ability to steal other powers and use them really well. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll rearrange this as we go. Okay, where's Kite? In that regard, putting Kite in S. So, Kite, we only saw how many of his abilities with his crazy slots? We saw 3 of them. Technically 4. Actually, technically 5. We saw... No, I think it's only 4. We saw the Scythe. He made a really big scythe that cut up a bunch of ants and, like, destroyed an entire forest. We saw the gun that shot one, that Chimera one, that one with the horse body. I forget its name. Yonju, I think. He had the ability he used against Pito, but unfortunately we didn't see what it was. It was like a mace or something, but we didn't really see what it did. Then he also had an ability that Gene mentioned that allowed him to... I think the implication was he had an ability that came up on the slots that was the number 3 that allowed him to reincarnate into another body. Because that was his ability that allowed him to come back. Because that's kind of what Gene said. Wasn't the mace the one that doesn't appear? The mace appeared, it's just we don't know what it did. I don't think that was what made him come back. I mean, the way Gene explained it was that there's a number that comes up on the crazy slots only when he's guaranteed to not die. And that was the number 3 was the number that came up when he fought Pito, and that's where he died. So I'm assuming that was probably the number. Yeah, it might have been a baton. It's kind of dubious as it's like a staff or like a baton or like a scepter or a mace. Not really sure what it is. Yeah. If it was his ability that allowed him to come back from life, to reincarnate himself, that's pretty damn good. Any ability that allows you to come back from the dead, I think deserves at least S tier. I'm sorry I'm eating on stream, but I'm hungry, so, you know. I thought it was a magic wand, like Kite's a magical girl. Well, he is a magical girl now, like, canonically. Yeah, Kite was never eaten by... Oh, God, sorry. Kite was never eaten by the queen. Yeah. That was the thing that was confusing. Yeah, the Chimera ants reincarnated when they were eaten by the queen. Kite's body was never fed to the queen. We see Kite's body later. Yeah. His ability, I think, was something along the lines of, I will reincarnate into the nearest organism capable of giving birth to, like, a humanoid, which was probably the Chimera ant queen. It's very confusing. I'm not even going to deny it. It's very confusing. Yeah. He has an ability that will only activate if he really doesn't want to die. Yeah, that's what it is. It was very vague. It was not very specific on what it was. It wasn't like Gene said, Kite has an ability that allows him to reincarnate, but I really don't see any other mechanism that allowed him to reincarnate that was, like, not his own ability. It doesn't make any sense. The only way that he can reincarnate into a Chimera ant is if they ate him. He was not in the stomach of the queen. We see his body later. It's used as like a puppet corpse thing for Pito. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm under the impression it's Kite's ability. I'm leaning in on being Kite's ability. Maybe you disagree with that. Maybe you think it's the Queen's ability, something like that. But I'm going to go with the implication in the story with the hints that we've been given, the very few hints we've been given. I think it is a part of Kite's ability. Also, Kite had a habit of saying, like, you know, it's a bad spin every single time he rolled something. And we only got to see out of, was it numbers 1 through 9? So 9 abilities, and we only saw 3 of them, and one of them we didn't really understand what it could do. All right, so that's still like 6 other abilities that we didn't even see. All right, I think low S is pretty good here. Yeah, he didn't want to die. I think Pito used his Nen ability to turn him into a puppet. Pito using their ability, like, that did happen, but the only way, my point is, like, for him to be reincarnated the normal way as a Chimera ant, he would have had to been consumed by the queen, and that did not happen. So that's the thing, unless Tagashi, like, messed that up, but maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to leave him at S tier. Maybe that'll change. But what's up next? We got... Oh, Knov. Knov is a really good ability. I love Knov's power. He is one of my favorite, like, that might be the Nen ability. If I could have any Nen ability in Hunter x Hunter, that might be the one. Because I love teleportation powers. I love the ability that he has to make little, like, warp points, and then he can, like, walk into them in, like, the actual door, and he has this little pocket dimension, this little hotel that he made, this little, like, I think it's like a 4 or 5 story apartment building that he made, where he could just hang out, and people can just chill in there, and they can set things up, and they can bring things into the world, like this little pocket dimension he has control of. So good. Oh, my God. I want to put him in S. I think Knov's power is so good. If he didn't have, like, a mental breakdown halfway through the Chimera Ant arc, he would have been way more useful. But, yeah. Knov is right behind Feitan. I kind of agree with you. His ability must use a ton of aura, and he still pulls it off. He never seemed tired or exhausted throughout the entire time he was using his power. You'd think it would cause, like, a tremendous amount of aura consumption, but he was able to pull it off a lot of times. Yeah. Yeah, he even has Scream. He has, like, Scream, where he just, like, traps you in between dimensions and just, like it's like the hand from JoJo Part 4. It just wipes you out of existence. Jesus Christ. He did get tired. He got tired when he was infiltrating the palace. That was more like mental exhaustion. And he got, like, mentally broken when he was, like, doing that. I don't think when he was just using his power, zipping around town, he didn't look, like, super exhausted doing that. It wasn't until he started getting into the palace is when he started really feeling the mental fatigue. He couldn't teleport more people. Dude, he could teleport like the entire group into the palace, so his upper limit is like 8? That's still good. That's still a good amount of people. How many people could he teleport? Himself, Morel, Gon and Killua, Ikago, Meloreon, Knov, Knuckle and Shoot. That's like 8 people. He warped like 8 people. That's pretty good. Damn. 8 people, transportation ability, and a pocket dimension ability, and an offensive ability. He can't teleport. He can teleport 10 people. That's damn good. 10 people. That's pretty damn efficient. I would love to have a teleportation ability. I could teleport up to 10 people. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, probably 10 at once. He was dropping ants into the room, and then Netero was just killing them. So I don't think that counts. Probably like 10 people at once. And by the way, I don't know if after they're killed, I don't know if they count as people anymore because they're corpses at that point. So maybe when he's like sending the people in there and they're getting killed by Netero, maybe they don't count as part of his occupancy limit anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, Knov's paranoia got to him, but I'm not ranking him. Dude, actually, you know what? This is something I've always been amazed by with Knov. Even after he suffered a complete and utter mental breakdown to the point where all of his hair fell out, his Nen ability still worked perfectly fine. He could still use the Nen power exactly like he used to. He just also had a mental breakdown on top of that. And that always blew my mind because the idea is like Nen abilities kind of are affected to your personal and physical state. You know what I mean? Like your mental state affects your Nen powers. Even under that stress, he's still able to use his power just fine. So I'm going to say that's better for Knov's capabilities, if anything. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Now, once again, I don't know if that's something Togashi just overlooked for convenience's sake. Like, oh, man, we really need Knov to use his powers here. But, like, he was in a state where you really question how the hell was he still able to use that power. Yeah. I'd straight up say S tier, honestly. I want to put him in S tier. He was teleporting entire squadrons of ants. Okay, so his number is higher than 10. Maybe after he suffered the strain and stress of the events of the castle, maybe he could only do 10. Maybe when he was calm and collected at his peak, maybe he could do more than that. Yeah. Oh, man, I kind of want to put him in S. I kind of want to put him higher than Kite. Maybe even higher than Illumi. How do we feel about higher than Illumi but lower than Hisoka? I don't know. Fair? I think that's fair. We might be bumping... Hisoka might be bumping up to OP. I don't think Knov would be an OP, but Hisoka is getting very close to getting bumped up to OP. Give Kite some love, please. Yeah. I like it. Lower than Illumi. All right, I'll do that. I'll do that for right now. Okay. Next up, Knuckle. I love Knuckle's power. I made a video about Knuckle's power. Knuckle's ability is... Like, Togashi is a fucking genius. Like, his power is interest rates. I'm going to take the concept of interest rates, apply it to Nen in this adorable little, like, mascot thing, and then have this... I mean, like... What other series has such intricate abilities beyond Hunter x Hunter for shit like that? Like, Knuckles' ability is kind of confusing if you don't really understand, like, interest rates and accounting and math. And especially Gon had, like, a brain exhaust, like, I don't understand how this power works. But damn, is it such a cool power. Yeah, I know JJK. A lot of people say JJK has powers like that, too. It's like, yeah. But, man, JoJo's... Yes, I don't know a lot of later stage powers at JoJo's. I haven't even read all of Stone Ocean, so I couldn't even tell you the stands that show up there. But yeah, probably a lot of stand abilities in JoJo's are pretty esoteric as well. Yeah, it makes it so that Knuckle can fist fight and still not hurt you. Yeah, because then when all happens is if it reaches the limit where you go bust, then your Nen just gets turned off. You don't die or anything. You just go into a state of forced Zetsu. Knuckle being an A. How do we feel about Knuckle being right smack dab in the middle of A? He's right in between Biscuit and Abengane. The thing is, it does have a weakness because the stronger the opponent is, the longer it will take, and you have to... It only increases value every 10 seconds, and he has to be within a certain range of the enemy. He can't just hit you and then run to the other side of town and it keeps accruing interest. That's not how it works. There is a range. In fact, I think Togashi had to retcon the range later for purposes of the story. I think it used to be like 50 meters and they had to change it to 20 or something like that. Bisky should be higher if Knuckle is in A. No, Knuckle's not below Killua. I don't think he's below Killua. Yeah. I really wanted... I so wanted his power to activate on one of the ants. His power never activated. It didn't activate on Poof. It didn't activate on Yuppie. It didn't activate on the King. I'm like, oh, man, that would have been so cool if they activated his ability on the King. You know, I would have just loved to see how big APR would have gotten on Meruem. It would have been like a Thanksgiving parade float or something. It would have been like the size. You could see it from orbit with the amount of Nen that would have been accrued on. Like, look how big. Yeah, he used it on Yuppie. It didn't activate on Yuppie. It didn't trigger the IRS. Biscuit is S. So Knuckle can be high A. Well, what about Feitan then? Feitan could be S. If we rearrange it like so, maybe something like... that? I still have the poll up from the... I'm going to end the poll here. Thanks for voting for fries. Daddy, why did you eat my fries? I don't think... See, that's the thing. I don't think Biscuit in S works. Hold on a second. Like, that doesn't seem that insane to me. That doesn't seem ridiculous to me, putting Knuckle above Killua. I think his added experience, more multifaceted ability would work pretty good. Adventure Time tier list win. I don't know. There we go. I agree so far. All right, we can keep that up. What's next up? We have Kortopi. So Kortopi, I think, is physically the weakest member of the Phantom Troop in terms of, like, arm wrestling. Kortopi is way down at the bottom. Has an ability that's, once again, a non-combat one that allows him to copy anything he wants. He has gallery fake. So he's able to touch a thing of wasabi peas and make a Nen copy. Now, his N is insane because he can make like 50 copies of like a building, like a 10-story building. He can make 50 copies of a 10-story building, and he knows exactly what's going on in all of those copies. That is incredible. That is just insanity that he could do that. So his N is... that guy's N is ridiculous. He can basically make his own town, his own city whenever he wants. Now, it doesn't last forever. I think it lasts like 24, 48 hours, something like that, and then it dissipates. Because there was a set time limit on how long he could keep that up. I think it was like 48 hours or 72 hours. Still, that's ridiculous, you know? Yeah. 24 hours? Okay. 24 hours. 24 hours you can make 50 copies of a 10-story building, and he knows what's going on in all of those buildings at all time. That's a pretty damn use. If that was a spell in D&D, that'd be broken as shit. All right? Yeah, I'm thinking Feitan's going to get the bump to S pretty quick here. I think Feitan's getting up to S very quickly. if Fluter has this really good reconnaissance ability and Fluter is a B, Feitan could be A. I feel like destructive power, Feitan might be there. Of course, we're not ranking just purely on destructive power. That's why I'm trying to... Nen abilities are so multifaceted. It's really hard to be like, is Feitan physically stronger, like Nen stronger than Knov? Yes. Is it a better Nen ability because Knov's is so good? Yeah, that's another question altogether. But if we're going to put Kortopi in A... Once again, this is not strength. I'm not saying Kortopi is physically stronger than Killua. I'm saying the ability is... better than Killua in terms of that power, in terms of what they are capable of, given the fact of what their ability is. Not about what their physical, power, how big of an explosion they can cause with their Nen, because some powers, like Kortopi's power, isn't that. He doesn't do that. Yeah. I'm okay with A. I'm okay with A here. All right. Yeah. Who's next? Is that... Nope. Oh, it's Kurapika. We're up to Kurapika. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Kurapika. Okay, if you actually think about this, Kurapika really does feel like, in the world of Hunter x Hunter, there's like an OC character. You know those really broken OC characters people make, in like Bleach? You'd be like, or like in Naruto, be like, my character in Naruto has like access to all of the different chakra natures and they can use them all at once. It's like, they're super powerful at all of them. That feels like Kurapika. Oh, Kurapika is a conjurer, but he also has a specialist ability that allows him to activate 100% of every single Nen ability. However, he can only use this when his eyes are red, but then he later learns how to turn his eyes red whenever he wants. What's the downside? The downside is for every second he stays in this form where he's essentially God, he loses an hour of his life, which granted is a thing, but that's basically I could just go into this mode where I'm basically I'm one of the strongest Nen users in the world with very minimal training. He's only known Nen for less than a year and he's already having this crazy hacks ability. Now granted, if he stays in that ability for let's say 10 seconds, that's 10 hours off of his life. If he stays in that, no, it's a day. No, it's a second equals a day or a second equals an hour. I think it's a second equals an hour. Let me double check that actually really quick. Somebody let me know. Somebody's let me know the ratio. I think it's every second he loses an hour. So that means if he stays in that form in Emperor time for 24 seconds, that's a whole day. But he doesn't need to half the time. He's so goddamn strong, he could probably finish most enemies, most regular enemies, not higher tier shit. But most normal enemies are probably going to get their asses kicked in less than a minute anyway. You know what I mean? And he has 100% in all categories. Now, granted, if he had to stay in this power, which he does, by the way, later on during the Succession War arc, he has to stay in that form for, I think there is an upper limit. I think it's an hour and a half. If he stays in Emperor time for an hour and a half, I think he just loses consciousness. It's too much. He just overwhelms his body and he just loses consciousness. But if he spends an hour, okay, so an hour is 60 minutes, 60 seconds to an hour. I got to use fucking math here. Okay, so 60 seconds to... I suck at math, crap. All right, if it's a second for an hour, then that means a minute is 60 hours, which means it's... it's okay. Take your time. God damn it. It's 60 hours, so 60 times 60, right? So 60 times 60 is 3,600 hours. How many days is that? 3,600 divided by 24. That's 150 days? Holy shit. So if he stays in that form for 150 days, that's like half a year. Almost half a year. Not quite. Yeah, okay. So that's half a year, right? But also, Kurapika's young. He's like a teenager when he uses the power. So it's if he lives to the ripe old age of 70, he can pretty much use this power all the time. He doesn't really have to worry about the problems. That's honestly, that payoff, that downside is a downside. But considering what he gets from it, holy shit, my food's almost here. Oh, man. And on top of that, not only does he have maximum capabilities in enhancement, transmutation, emission, conjuration, manipulation, and the specialist category, he also has individual abilities. He has an ability that allows him to steal other abilities. He has an ability that allows to heal him. He has an ability that can chain the Phantom Troop. He has an ability that can be planted in other people's heart. That one isn't only for the Phantom Troop. And he has a power that's dousing. That's basically like, I could just see whatever's going on. I just have like the ability of like radar in whatever area. So many broken goddamn abilities. I did not pay attention in math class. You're right, I didn't. Oh, man. And detect lies. He could just do that, too. Oh. Wait, when did he use that? What, the dousing ability? He used it to track Neon, and he also used it to detect lies when they were at the mansion for that test for the Nostrad family. Yeah, he has that ability, too. And the stealing ability we see during the Succession War arc. He has that power, too. All right, I'm going to go pick up my food. I'm going to be right back. Oh my God! Kurapika! Oh, no. No, no, no. That better not have happened. They missed my address again. God damn it. That's the second time that's happened. Oh, my God. Oh, wait, no. Wait, no. Wait a minute. Oh, no, okay. No, they're good. They picked it up from the place, and now they're heading to my house. Oh, my God. No, I say that because that happened once before. When we did, when we were doing the last episode of One Piece D&D, it was like a 4-hour stream. I was very hungry. I ordered food to be ready for the end of it, and then I go outside, and it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. I'm like, what the fuck? So I was mad that day. I think they passed my house or something. I don't know. I never got that food. I never did find that food. But they're good. They're all right. Oh my God. I was looking at the wrong icon on the phone. Oh my God. All right. Why does that happen? I think it's because there's another house that's in my little development that has the same number as my house. So sometimes that happens, but I don't think they even got the food. It was weird that day. I don't know. Well, whatever. It's okay. What did you order, dude? I got some really good grilled cheese. Got a really good grilled cheese. Oh, man. But there's that moment where I'm really hungry and I go outside and I'm like, where's the food? Oh, no, not again. No. Didn't know you liked Hunter x Hunter. I do like Hunter x Hunter. Okay. Where is Kurapika going? You know what? I feel like for everything Kurapika can do, I feel like OP is fair. I think it's fair. I feel like putting him in OP, you know? High S. Yeah. I mean, like, his powers are so ridiculous, all right? Now, granted, he made a contract to Like, he'll die if he doesn't get the thing, you know what I mean? Like, if he uses he can't use Chain Shell on anybody but the Phantom Troop. But every other ability he can use on anybody. So it's not even really much of a restriction. He's like, oh yeah, I'll come up with 5 broken of really useful abilities, but I can only use 1 on 1 group of people. Oh yeah, that's a huge contract. Yeah. Oh man. He's literally God. $10 for 2 hours worth of power? Yeah, but he doesn't need to use the 2 hours. For most opponents, less than 2 hours would, like a couple of seconds would probably be good enough. When you saw, okay, how long did that fight between Kurapika and Uvogin last? All right? Because Kurapika dominated that fight. Dude brought a shovel to that fight. He knew he was going to win. How long did that fight last? What, like 10 minutes? All right? Let's highball it. How long did that fight last? 2 minutes? I think it was a little longer than 2 minutes, but we can highball it. Let's say 15 minutes, okay? That fight was 15 minutes. And Uvogin is literally one of the strongest enhancers in the entire world. When it comes to enhancement abilities specifically, the entire world. I'm giving him more credit. I'm saying 15 minutes, okay? So that's 60 seconds. That's 1 second per hour. Okay, so 15 minutes divided by... shit. All right, hold on. I got this. 60 times 15. All right. Wait, no, not that. Oh, God. Okay, hold on a second. All right, how do you do math? Okay. 60 times 15. Yeah, 60 times 15. That's 900 seconds. And that's divided by... Alexa, 900 seconds is how many minutes?
900 seconds is 15 minutes.
Oh, wait, no, it's hours. Wait, how many hours is 900? Damn it! 37.5 days. Thank you! 37.5 days. All right, so that's 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and that's highballing it. It was probably lower than that, honestly. But, okay, he gave up 1 month of his life to defeat one of the strongest, if not the strongest enhancers in the world. And Uvogin had literally decades of experience and training. Kurapika learned Nen 6 months before this. Oh, my camera. My camera went down. Not my camera. Where did my camera go? Oh, no. What happened? Did I break my camera? Hold on a second. Device not available. What happened? Did my camera break? There we go. Teching one-shot the camera. Boom. Okay, now my food is almost here. All right, I'm going to go get my food now. All right. You punch the table. Yeah, I have a little input over here. All right, I'm going to go get my food now for realsies. For realsies. Okay. Kurapika's Nen turned off the camera. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Math killed the camera. Food for me. Precious sustenance. Precious things that could sustain me. And deflated one of the strongest members of the troop. Only silence remains. R.I.P. Math. R.I.P. Way better than Gear Second, yeah. All right, I got to move all this crap out of the way because I want to eat. All right, Kurapika going in hacks is good. Oh, we got an easy one, Leech. Okay, Leech is in D, honestly. Leech is like, his ability, I'd say it's good enough to not be trash, if nothing else. All right, I'm going to put, guys, hold Bandit's secret. Here you go. Hold Bandit's secret for me. All right, move this back. Barry, here you go. I also have this little Meruem thing, this little Meruem and Komugi thing I have over here. It's cute. All right. I was so scared for Kurapika. Yeah, like, the idea is that fucking, like, you have to understand, you know, Uvogin, people, like, throw it out there, like, oh, yeah, he was defeated by Kurapika. He was, like, one of the first Phantom Troop members to die. Dude was one of the strongest enhancers in the world. He trained for decades to have that power, okay? He had the ability to just crush mountains whenever he wanted to, okay? Yeah. And actually, funnily enough, the, oh wait, no. What was I thinking? Okay, when Uvogin was affected with the leeches, Shizuku couldn't get the leeches out, but she could get the, poison out. So the leeches actually gave him a little bit more trouble. What the hell is this? Oh, my salad! I also ordered a salad. I forgot about that. I was like, what is this? What is this strange thing? I also ordered a salad. Yeah, he was not equipped to deal with chainsail. They didn't cut my sandwich in half. That's okay. That's okay. I can deal. All right. All right. So. Can you read this word? No, I can't. Bomber and B tier for bomb. Now he deserves to be better than that. All right. We have Leol, or Hagya, but he prefers to go by Leol, so I'll say Leol. All right. So Leol has his ability to rental pod. So he can rent Nen abilities from people. There are some stipulations to this. He has to perform a favor for somebody, and then the person he's doing the favor for has to respond affirmatively. Like, you know, you did a favor for me. Or no, it has to work like he's like, oh, you owe me something. Leol has to say, you owe me something. This isn't free. You owe me something. And then the person has to respond affirming that. Like, oh, okay, sure. Yes, okay. Then the ability is activated, and then he stores it in his little iPod, his little early 2000s iPod, where then he can pull it up whenever he wants and activate it, I think, for an hour. Okay, and then while it's being activated, the original user cannot use it because he's like renting that power off of the original user. So it's like Chrollo's. He's a specialist, and I like how a lot of specialists all go about like a similar thing, where most specialists will focus on stealing other abilities because they're specialists. Because why wouldn't you? There are some, like, just like with any ability that allows you to steal stuff, there's a bunch of, like, conditions you have to meet in response to that. I think Kurapika actually has one of the easiest ways to steal abilities. Well, I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Briggs was busy. I don't know exactly when we're going to do it next, if we're doing it tomorrow or another day this week, or if we're waiting till next week. I'm not really sure. Yes, bungee gum does have the properties of both rubber and gum, yes. So it's a stealing ability. I'd say putting it in A tier would not be a bad idea. I feel like putting that below Kite, though. Yeah, he borrowed the ability from Grachan, who is a friend of Morel. And I think it's also a thing, like, you can't, that the original user can't die, because if the original user dies, the Nen ability, I think, might just disappear. No, that's not true. It's the reverse of that. When Chrollo is using the ability to steal it with Bandit's Secret, if they die, the Nen ability dies, unless it's under very rare circumstances, because I think there was one ability that Chrollo had that a person was dead and he still had it. But other than that, they disappear. With Rental Pod, I think they still get to keep it. Because Fluter died, and then he was able to use Flutter's ability. Yeah. Chrollo had one ability where there was a post-mortem Nen buff. Yeah. Grilled cheese. I have to go cut this in half. I'll be right back. Sorry. I know this stream is all over the damn place. I have to cut my sandwich in half. I'll be right back. This is a great stream. This is an amazing stream. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? This is the best live stream I've ever done in my life. Every 5 seconds, I'm like, hey guys, oh, hold on a second. I gotta go do something. All right. I'm gonna leave Leo right there right now. Who's next? Who the hell is this guy? Who is this? Oh, it's Leorio. Leorio, huh? All right. Well, he's an emitter. Got that warp punch thing. That was pretty cool. Punched Gene in the face. I should put him as hacks just because he punched Gene in the face. So good. All right. All right. I think we're going to put him in C. Yeah. Like honestly below Basho. Like he's barely C because once again, not a real combat type, you know? Gene actually mentioned that ability would be better for surgery than it would be for like attacking, which I think is why I think Leorio developed it for surgery, but he used it just to punch Gene just because he could. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. That warp punch ability, it wasn't meant to be used like that. If you look at it like an ability for his doctor skills, as Gene clarified later, it might be up to B or it might be up higher. But this is best Nen users. Yeah, best Nen users. Oh, you mean like rate? No, I'm not ranking the characters. I'm ranking their abilities and how they use them. Yeah. He can punch your heart. Gene can copy it just by seeing it. Yeah, and there's also like other abilities where very similar to Leorio's. Somebody mentioned that one dude, the one pirate guy in Greed Island, had an ability that was pretty much the same thing. Yeah. We're not doing a combat-based one. That's why I'm thinking, okay, I think he deserves higher than a C for that reason, because it's an ability that is actually really well suited to him as a doctor, but we haven't seen much of it, so I think bumping it up to maybe like, okay, last tier of B, maybe. Because it is an ability that's really good for him being a doctor. Or top of C. Top of C, because Kastro really squandered that potential, man. Top of C is fair. Okay. Who's next? Machi. All right. Okay, what's next after this? Meloreon. Okay. Machi. All right, everybody loves Machi. How many people love Machi? Raise your hands for Machi. While you do that, I'm gonna eat some more grilled cheese. Not me. Get out. All right. Here's a fun thing. We've never seen Machi, like, fight. Like, not really. Like, she restrained Gon and Killua during York New, which is not really that much of a feat, considering they didn't even have their abilities yet. And, she's good at tracking people. She's good at healing people with her Nen stitches. But we're not basing this on combat. I'm just saying that we've never really seen her fight, you know? So we're not basing it on combat, and her Nen stitches are one of the better abilities given the fact of what she can do with them. I'm just saying that she definitely probably will have combat abilities. We just haven't seen them, you know? If we were doing, like, strongest Phantom Troop members and just pure power, then yeah, she wouldn't be high. Oh, we've seen her do stuff, just not really straight up fighting. All right. I want to put her in A because her Nen stitches are even Hisoka mentioned. It's like one of the best abilities you can have. Like for herself, like that ability is like perfectly suited to her. It's like her stitches are to her as like Hisoka's bungee gum is to him. You know what I mean? It's like just you figured out the best optimal ability that you could possibly have. Like there's no ability you could have picked better than that kind of thing. You know? Grilled cheese gets more screen time than Dragon. It does. Yeah. Yeah, she's a transmuter, right? Yeah, I believe so. Same as Hisoka. She's a Terminator, right? She's a Terminator, right? Yeah, she is, actually. I love her last name. It's Machi Co-Machine. She's a machine. Without Machi, Hisoka would not have an arm. That's true, canonically. He would not. I love that. He's like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose an arm today in this fight, so can you come and patch me up afterwards? And she's like, yep, you got to pay me, though. She charges outrageously for her services, too. I can't remember how much money it was, but it was like 500 million for one arm and like 700 for the next arm. I mean, like, it was an absurd amount of money. It's in Jenny, which is in yen, which even in American dollars, it was something like $500,000 she charges. But, like, wouldn't you? 60 and 72 million. So if you calculate that out, hold on. So let's see what that is. So 60 plus 72, that's 132. Alexa, 132 million yen is how many American dollars?
132 million Japanese yen is $907,465 and 90.
Would you pay $907,000 to see Machi? That's pretty damn good. Then again, her abilities allow her to, like, you know how, like, if somebody has an arm cut off, like, we can reattach it, but you got to go through an extensive surgery, and you got to go through a lot of complicated rehab for that. Machi can literally do it like this. Like, she just snaps your fingers and basically just, you're fixed. Muscles, bones, nerve endings. She even reattaches your damn nerve endings. like perfect. And you're like ready to go afterwards pretty much. So, I mean, she can charge whatever she wants for her services, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think putting her in A tier is good. Meloreon's next. Okay, so he has 2 abilities. He has Perfect Plan and God's Accomplice. Basically the same kind of ability. It allows him to become completely not intangible. He can't phase through matter, but when he activates it, he's not only invisible, it's like he's imperceptible. All right? Even to somebody like Meruem, he didn't really get a chance to use his ability against Meruem because Meruem knocked him out before he had a chance to even do it. But if he did use the ability, even on somebody as strong as him, it would probably still work. The idea is that you can't be detected at all. Even like lowers your perception of people around you. You can even go up and like physically, like he could have went into God's Accomplice and then went up and like tapped Meruem in the face. And Meruem would just be like, huh? Well, I don't know what's going on here. Huh? You know, like that would be basically like that. It's a really good power, but he has to hold his breath while using it. But, you know, he's trained himself. He holds his breath while doing it, and he's also a smoker. So is that maybe a condition? I'll hold my breath while using this power, but I'm also a smoker, so my lung capacity is not the best. I have to, yeah. Yeah, it was even mentioned by Knuckle a little later, like, if you have the boss's lungs, you could hold your breath for, like, you know, maybe an hour or 2, but it's not happening if you don't. Yeah. All right. So let's say it's a really good power. B tier? I feel like putting him right below Genthrou might be an okay place to put him. I think high B is good for him. Everyone's kind of saying high B. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, he could take others with him. That's good. It's still the same power, though. It's just that he has to hold his breath. It's the same conditions both times. In Hunter x Hunter, smoking is like going to the gym for your lungs. Toughens them up, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. You are right about that. If he does bring somebody like Knov, not Knov, but Knuckle, or somebody that's really strong, then yeah, they could basically get a free one-shot on pretty much anybody they want. Like, the only reason why that plan kind of got, like, as soon as they began the invasion, Zeno's Dragon Dive, like, air-raided the entire castle, and that caused some problems to get where they were going. But if that had not happened, you'd think he could just run in and just run right up to Yuppie and just boom, you know, and then you'd think he's going to gotten gone. I mean, that does happen, but yeah. For one-shot potential, that is really good. So many people. If you bleed, you're exposed, though. Yeah, but if you show up to the fight and you're already invisible, they don't know you're there. Area of effect abilities are, yeah, they're not really effective there with area effect powers. But if you show up to the fight and you're just going to one-shot, they don't even know you're there. You just get a free shot. Yeah. They could smell him because of the smoke, but when he went into that fight, he specifically didn't smoke anything. He specifically stopped smoking because they knew they could smell the smoke. Yeah. So he just has to not smoke before he goes into a fight. Yeah. Yeah, imagine this ability in D&D, undetectable. Is that an ability in D&D? Like a 9th level spell, probably. And he was also on edge because of not smoking, yeah. They can only smell him in between breaths. They can smell... So if he was, yeah, I mean, it's really kind of hard to hold your breath while smoking a cigarette, so he can't really do both at the same time. He can't do his ability and smoke at the same time. But let's say he was. Let's say he smoked and then held his breath. They wouldn't be able to smell the smoke on him, but they would be able to smell the smoke he just exhaled all around him. Like, yeah, that he would be able to smell. But yeah, he wouldn't be doing that at the same time. Yeah. I feel like because of that ability, he should go up a little higher. His power, see, that's the thing. Like, under the right circumstances, he is really good. His power is really fucking good. He's not really ethereal because he can't pass through walls. That's what I consider, like, ethereal or intangible. He's still a physical thing that can still get hit. I'm gonna keep him in S tier, because damn, that is a good power when you team up with people. The ability just to become completely undetectable, like, the ways you become detectable are very specific. Like, Welfin was able to detect him because Welfin was a wolf that had highly specialized scent. Because Meloreon even went to extra efforts to put on, like, unscented deodorant and try to remove as much of his smell as possible. Now, Welfin was still able to smell him because he's a freaking wolf, right? But, like, most people he encounters aren't going to have the sense of smell of Welfin, right? Yeah. We're not talking about power, though. Yeah, in terms of power, he's on foot soldier level, but that's not what we're rating. We're rating, like, what his ability can do. Yeah. Yeah, he should have held a knife. He should have had some kind of weapon on him. That's not a bad idea. He should have had, like, a really good knife or something, like a gun, something he could have used on him. Wouldn't have helped, but it's something he would have had. All he had was a hoodie and a pack of cigs. Yeah, and even Welfin couldn't track him great. He could kind of tell something was up in between breaths, but he couldn't track him perfectly. So it's like, if Meloreon's right here, and Welfin's over here, Meloreon will exhale, and then re-inhale, and then he'll leave. And then Welfin will be able to track him to the point where he inhaled, but then he won't be able to follow him further than that. So, yeah. Maybe a spirit gun or something. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave him there. He's a really good one. Who's next? Melody. Melody, I mean, her power is not like some kind of one-shot kill ability where she, like, sings a song and everybody just but, you know, like, she has the ability to calm emotions. She could probably agitate emotions, too. It's just we've never seen her use that. But, you know, from what we've seen her be able to hear from really far distances away. Really good support ability for that. And she can also play a song to calm everybody down and distract them in the process. For support abilities, that's really good. Support ability is really good there. I might actually put her even higher than Leorio. Oh, wait, no. Maybe B tier? B tier or C tier? We don't know what the Sonata of Darkness can do. We don't know what happens. We know what happens when she played part of it. She turned into her present form. But we don't know if she can just play that and just one-shot Hisoka. I mean, maybe it does, but, like, we've never seen her use it offensively. Yeah, at least B. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to put her higher than, dude, I might... What do you think of higher... What do you think of in between Kalluto and Franklin? It cursed her and killed her friend, yeah. But we don't know if it has, like, if she played that song in front of Meruem, it would, like, one-shot him or something. I mean, that's completely conjecture. We can't go on that. Yeah. Below Franklin. All right, I'm good on that. Okay. Meruem time. The King! All right, so everybody under consensus that Hacks is the right place to put him. All right, are we all under consensus on that one? I literally made that tier. I might as well just rename that tier the Meruem tier, because that's literally the tier. You know? Yeah. What was his ability? Aura Synthesis. He can eat... And the more he eats, the stronger he becomes. But his normal Nen, he just has, like, natural mastery over all types of Nen to begin with. You know? Like, just by being born, his Nen is so goddamn strong, it can, like, obliterate anything around him. He's able to handle Netero's strongest attack. He takes the Zero Hand like it's nothing. He gets a little scraped up from using Zero Hand. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I don't see Nanika on here. Yeah, she's not on here. That was not on the list. This is just a default list I saw. She would be also on the hacks tier if she was. She wasn't included. Yeah. And also, all the stuff happens. Meruem, by the way, is like less than like a month old. when all of the fights happen, he's like a month or two old, and he's able to do all that shit we saw. Which human? Because the way we've seen it with most Chimera ants, it's usually like a single human serves as a like the template for the next Chimera ant. I wonder if there was a specific human. Was it Gyro, maybe? Oh, it might have been Gyro. Was it Gyro? Because Gyro was eaten, but Gyro turned into an ant, and we see him later in the manga. We don't see him in the anime, but he shows up in the manga wandering through town where Gon and Killua are. Yeah. Yeah, Gyro was reborn. So it's not him. So I wonder which humans served as the main basis for Meruem, I wonder. Interesting. Yeah, the manga teased that Gyro would meet him in the future. Yeah, well, maybe he will. All right, so for right now, Meruem's in hacks. The only way we know to kill him is to use a nuke, which is really nice in Hunter x Hunter because it teaches us that, like, just because they have this power system of Nen, and there's so many wacky powers that Nen can do, there are still, like, modern weapons that can still kill you. Like, even if you're, like, one of the most broken Nen users in the entire world, if you get a nuke dropped on you, you're still gonna die. Like, that doesn't make you impervious to like modern weaponry and stuff like that, you know? If Meruem ate all of the royal guards, yeah, I mean, like, he would be. But Meruem's story isn't about him, like, I'm super strong, tough guy just for the sake of being a final boss. It's a very fascinating story. The direction that Togashi takes him subverts a lot of anime tropes, and I really respect him for that. Rock, paper, nuke. Yep, you can't beat the nuke. It's the poison that killed him. So it's a nuke. It's the nuclear radiation off of a nuclear weapon that killed him. So it's a nuke. Yeah. Nice Nen. Catch this nuke though. All right, we got Morel coming up next. Morel is probably an S tier, same as Knov. I'm actually okay with putting him a little higher than Illumi. Like, Hisoka and then Morel right behind him, that's not bad. Oh, no, Morel is not B. Morel is definitely higher than B tier. Are you kidding me? Morel is like a trained veteran. Morel is insanely... His ability is really versatile. Same thing with Machi, same thing with Hisoka. Morel has the absolute optimized ability for him. That much better than Bisky? Yeah. I'm actually okay with that. I actually am really okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, he can't stand up against a nuke, though. Damn it, we should put another tier and just put nuke in that tier. The nuke tier. Yeah. Yeah, also, if Leol is an S tier, yeah, Morel kind of has to be an S tier, too. Knov can survive a nuke. Okay, well, he dodges the nuke. He doesn't take the nuke and walk away fine. He dodges it, but I know what you mean, yeah. All right. Who's next? Neon. Okay, it's literally an ability to see the future, and from what we understand, the way the future telling works is she writes a series of poems. The poems will tell you what's going to happen each day of that week, or I don't know if it's every day of the week or every week. I think it's every week. And she writes you a few verses, and every verse is like a different week. Now, the way that the fortunes work is what is told is going to happen, but it also tells you how to avoid it. So it's like, you will be in a car crash this week, so don't drive on Tuesday. That's kind of what it is. It's like, as long as you don't drive on Tuesday, you won't die. All right? Like, it's okay, so you don't drive on Tuesday, and then it doesn't happen. All right. So, really good power. In order to activate it, you need to know someone's name, birthday, and blood type. I think those were the 3 criteria. So some of the Phantom Troop members actually couldn't have their fortune reads because some of them didn't know what their blood type, and didn't know what their birthdays were, because they were from Meteor City. Yeah, Neon just randomly died. She just died off screen. We don't know what happened. She just died. Maybe Light went crazy because he lost all of his money and just ended up killing his daughter at some point. That's grim as hell, but that might have happened. That actually, considering the state we see Light in near the end of, during Greed Island, he's like broken down and like, oh my god, I've lost all my money. Oh, what am I gonna do? And maybe one day he like loses it and just goes into Neon's room and like, you were the cause of everything. You lost everything because of you. You know, oh shit, yeah. Yeah, she had to be written off. Because if she did not get written off, or Kurapika might have killed her to get that ability away from Chrollo, that also might be a good option of what happened. Yeah, Kurapika might have just killed her because, like, I can't have Chrollo going around reading the future. That's not good. That's not a good thing to have, you know? Either way, dark. I love either way, Drac. I know dark, but either way. Oh, no, it's okay, Brandon. It's okay. I just found it a little funny. It's, yeah, okay. It's all right. Yeah. Either way, dark. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if Kurapika found out that Chrollo was released from his Nen, from the Kurapika's restriction, the first thing he might have done is kill Neon. Like, all right, I can't have him going around reading the future. That's not good. He can give himself his own fortune telling anytime. Well, wait. Yeah, he can. Well, no. Wait a minute. Could Chrollo make his own future read? Because could Neon read her own future? I don't know if she couldn't do that or if she just chose not to do that. Because she didn't really like to read her fortunes after she wrote them. It doesn't work on the user. That's why she had Chrollo had Neon use the ability before he stole it. So he had his fortune, then he stole it, and he could use it on the other troop members. So it wouldn't work on the user. So Chrollo can use it, but still, Chrollo using it with the other spiders can kind of, like, through connection, he can, like, if Nobunaga is always hanging around Chrollo, and Chrollo uses the fortune-telling ability on Nobunaga, that's kind of also going to tell what's happening to Chrollo. You know, he can kind of read through the context clues. It's not good to have that ability, all right? That ability's too broken. Yeah. Okay, where is it going, though? I mean, it's a power to see the future. It's got to be at least S tier. It's a future sight ability. It's really good. And she can predict the future up to, like, several weeks. I mean, honestly, guys, like, it leaves you vulnerable, but it's not, like I said, it's not an attack-based Nen. You know? You're unconscious while using it. Yeah, but only for a couple of seconds. It's not the kind of ability you would use in the middle of combat. It's not like when you're getting shot at, you're going to be using this ability. All right? Yeah. I'm thinking OP. It's a power that can see the future. That's good. All right? The biggest drawback of this, because the restrictions aren't really that big of a deal. Someone's name, birthday, and blood type. Like, who doesn't know that? I mean, I guess some members of the, like, that's not a restriction that causes you to, like, hurt yourself or anything like that. That's just like a really basic kind of restriction. Yeah. All right, I won't put it in OP, but I will put it in A. I'll put it at least higher than Meloreon's. I'll even put it, I really like Knov's. I'll put it in between Meloreon's and Knov's. How about that? You don't know my own blood type. Mine is O positive. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, so most people don't know their blood types, apparently. That's fair. All right, fair enough. Well, I guess some people aren't going to get their futures read, huh? All right, what's next? Netero. All right, Isaac Netero. Oh, boy, it's Netero time. 99th hand! Oh, boy. So, once again, the fact that he had to fight against Meruem, who's so broken in hacks, and also Netero was beyond his, prime. Not that Beyond is beyond his prime. Beyond is actually in his prime, but Netero was beyond his prime, who just happens to be the father of Beyond. You know how it is? Yeah, I know how it is. Anyway, if he used that 99 type Bodhisattva on like anybody else, they would get their shit stomped in so fast. And then he has the 0th hand, which is just a laser beam. Just a highly concentrated laser beam. Not as strong as a nuke, but pretty damn powerful. Definitely OP. He's definitely going OP. In fact, I'm thinking about putting him highest tier OP for right now. I mean, I don't really think how much... I don't like unless we put him in hacks along with Meruem, I don't really think... But Meruem did kick his shit in. His power wasn't strong enough to break Meruem. It was a nuke that broke Meruem. All right? I think top of OP is fair for Netero. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's fair. Because it was very clear Meruem was stronger than Netero in terms of just Nen combat. Meruem was tougher. Meruem could have taken several 0 hands, and I think would not have died. Because he took that 1-0 hand. Hold on, let me pull up something here. Let me pull up a thing. Yeah. Let me show something here. Okay. Okay. This was Meruem. Whoa, wait, wrong panel. Okay. This was Meruem after taking Netero's strongest attack point blank after he had time to meditate and charge it. That is how much damage he had. He took 0 hand, point blank, giant fuck off laser beam. That is how damaged he was. He's hurt. He's hurt, definitely. He's got some scrapes. He's got some bruises. He's got some flesh peeled off. But I think he could take maybe like 2 or 3 more of those, and I think he would still be kicking. I don't think another one of those would put him down. I don't think 3 of them would have put him down. Maybe 4 or 5 starts getting to the point, but like, oh, man. No, I don't think he's at 99 health. I would say at this point, he's at like 90. Maybe it took 10. That was the entire fight up until then. But Meruem is still at like 90, 91% right now. His health is like, It's still in the green. It's still firmly in the green. Yeah. 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 Man, nukes are powerful, man. Holy shit. All right. So, yeah, he can't be in hacks, but OP. Anybody else got hit with that attack? Chrollo Lucifer got hit by that 0 hand. He's dead. Hisoka gets hit by that laser beam. He's dead. Kurapika gets hit by that laser beam. He's dead. All right? Like, yeah. Meruem is just so ungodly broken. Hacks, 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 hacks. Jean, I think, would be dead, too. That is the laser beam of destruction. Yeah. All right. Why is Kurapika an OP tier? Because he's Kurapika. Oh my god, I saw something. While we're looking at... Hold on, let me pull that up, too. I want to pull that up, too. Because I saw a meme the other day that was Kurapika related. That was really funny to me. Where is it? Yep, here it is. It's a really shitty screen cap, but I want to show it to you. So there was a 1999 anime of Hunter x Hunter, right? There was the original Hunter x Hunter anime. Well, I guess somebody got confused during the Hunter x Hunter anime and, like, assumed that Kurapika was a girl, was a woman. Because, like, somebody shared that the other day that they animated Kurapika with boobs. And it's like, oh, clearly Kurapika is a woman. So they animated her in the original, with him in the original with boobs. Yeah, so there we go. I mean, I thought Kurapika was a girl before I started watching Hunter x Hunter, and I just saw the promotional material, like what the characters looked like. I assumed Kurapika was a girl. I assumed that. Yeah, I think we all did. But there you go. I guess canonically in the 99 version. Yeah, there we are. Okay, anyway, back to it. Nobunaga. This is him using N, so that's why the big character for N is there. But yeah, Nobunaga, definitely one of the stronger members of the Phantom Troop. I'm actually thinking about putting him up like right below Feitan. Finks is coming up, and Finks I think is right after Uvogin. Finks is the physically strongest. Yeah. Still haven't seen Nobunaga's Hatsu. No, we haven't, but we can assume from what he discussed with Killua, it's a really precise, powerful sword swing. Because the way he talked about it was, you take one step towards me, I'm going to cut you in half, and it's going to be less than a second, you're just dead. And Killua's reaction to that was like, yeah, he's going to kill me. Like, the idea is you get close enough to him, he's just, and you're dead. You're dead so fast, you don't even know you're dead. All right? So we can at least do that. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We did see some more shit with him in the most recent chapters when they explore that room. Yeah. And he can regenerate his sword. That's pretty good too. I think I'm going to keep him right there for right now. We might come back to Nobunaga. Who's next? Oh, the Ortho Siblings. Weird addition to this. Okay, the Ortho Siblings are they're brother and sister. Excuse me, brother and sister that have the ability of darts, where the sister places a tag on somebody or conjures the tag, and then the brother plays a game of darts, and every time he hits the board, then the person gets stabbed. And then if he misses the last dart, then they both die. So it is a high-risk ability. If he fucks up on the last dart, then they both die. But it's an ability that Killua didn't really avoid. He was able to kind of avoid it. Not really. The darts still hit him. It's just he was able to use his electricity to, like, clamp down on it immediately. But he still got injured a little bit. He got injured a lot from it. Yeah, this one is... I'm trying to think B tier for this one. Yeah. D... I mean, it's a very gimmicky ability, too. But they are able to do it at a really long range, because Killua wasn't even anywhere near them when they used the power. Maybe up here in B tier. Because the range definitely does give it an advantage. You don't have to be close to the enemy to use it. It's so clearly trash. It's not trash. It fucked up Killua pretty bad. It's not a trash ability. Cheetu was a moron, so that's why he's down there, all right? But that ability was able to mess up Killua a bit. Yeah. Killua collapsed after that. He lost a lot of blood. He was kind of afraid he was going to die there. Ikago saved him. Yeah. But he is a top-ranked dart player, so the odds of him losing on the last throw would probably be pretty low, because he is literally a professional dart player. If he was like a novice, if it was like me having this ability, where I'm playing pool, and it's like, or bowling, it's like I have to bowl a perfect game for my Nen ability. I'm not a bowler! No. Darts is broken. Alright, who's next? Owl? Alright, you know what? Owl... Fun cloth captures anything or anyone and traps it in a cloth like this big. And they can't get out. Nobunaga couldn't escape. He trapped one of the members of the Phantom Troop, and Nobunaga could not cut his way out of that. He was just stuck in that cloth. It was a good enough ability that Chrollo wanted it. Chrollo stole it because of how good of an ability it was. If Chrollo would have captured Zeno in that cloth, the implication is Zeno couldn't have escaped it. It's very good utility. Very good. It went bar for bar with the Zoldyx. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if it's going bar for bar with a Zoldyck, I'm thinking S tier. I really am. It traps anybody, regardless of how strong they are. He could have trapped Meruem in his cloth. Yeah, unless you have like a very specific ability that allows you to negate other abilities, which honestly in Hunter x Hunter, we haven't seen that many of those. We haven't seen a lot of abilities that just negate other abilities. Like if you have a conjuration ability, it doesn't work anymore. We don't really see a lot of those. We don't really see those in Hunter x Hunter. Knov and Meloreon and Owl, strongest combo. It's actually pretty good, yeah. That is actually really hacks. Now, he has to get close enough to you to trap you, though. So as we saw when Chrollo used the power, and Chrollo was experienced using it against Zeno, Zeno made it so Chrollo couldn't get close to him. So Chrollo had to give that up. He tried to capture him with it, but he realized, like, there's no way this is going to work. Zeno is too skilled. I am not going to trap him with this cloth. I'm just going to give this up. I can't do it. I have to figure out another way to fight him. You're putting too many people in S. I mean, there's a lot of... Is Hisoka not S? Is Morel not S? Is Knov not S? I mean, yeah. Chrollo didn't know how to use the ability. Yeah, he did. Because when he opens the book, there's an explanation on how to use it. He knew how to use the power. It wasn't like, I don't know how to use this cloth. I don't know how to use this. I'm just going to throw it at you and hope it works. It's like, nah, he knows how to use the ability. His power wouldn't even make sense if he didn't learn how to use the ability. Yeah. There's a lot of broken powers in Hunter x Hunter. This is what we have learned today. Yeah. I think Kite is the only one that shouldn't be there. I'm rethinking Kite. I am. I'm rethinking Kite, and I'm honestly rethinking Hisoka. I'm honestly thinking about pushing Hisoka up here and Kite down here. What do you guys think of that? Pakunoda's up next. Yeah, let's talk about her for a bit. Not really a combat power. Sharpshooter. That doesn't have anything to do with Nen. She's just a really good marksman. So, memory bullets. She can load her own memories into bullets and fire them into people, and she can read memories. Like, really well, too. Not like only what you're thinking at the time. She can read your memories. So you're just going to ignore that salad? I don't have a fork to eat it. I'll get to it later. I still have half a sandwich I haven't eaten. That'll be after I finish this. Oh, Kurapika? He's only able to use the power for an hour, but it's like God power. It's like complete and utter mastery of all Nen for 1 hour. Most fights would not even last an hour with that context. Like, once again, defeated Uvogin, one of the strongest enhancers in the world, in like less than 10 minutes. It's like, yeah. Oh, Lael. No, Lael. Okay, sorry. You were saying Lael. Sorry about that. Yeah, like, I think Kurapika belongs in OP. I'm really... Kurapika's so broken. Now, Lael, though, maybe we can drop Lael down. I think Lael, maybe here. Lael, I'm trying to... Man, this is... the quantifying Nen abilities is really fucking hard. All right, how about we keep going through the rest of these, and then maybe we can organize stuff later. Okay. Pakunoda. A behind Killua. She can steal. She can read them. She can read memories. She can fire her memories. That's kind of it. And then she just has generically good Nen, like, roundabout, you know? I think Killua's ability by the Chimera Ant arc, like where it is right now in the story, is a little better than Pakunoda's. I'm comfortable putting her below Killua as he is now. A lot of people saying B. Well, if she's going in B, I'd rather put her below Genthrou. How about here? I love that. Hi, B. As long as she's A, I'm fine. Damn it! It's 3 hours max for Emperor time, and he can activate it and deactivate it whenever he wants. Yeah. Like I said, most fights with Emperor time are not going to last more than 5 minutes unless Kurapika is going up against a member of the troop or Chrollo or Hisoka. That is not going to last longer than that. I think B is good for her. Palm. So her original ability is a divination ability where she can, she actually like cuts herself and then bleeds on a crystal ball, and then she can kind of read what's going on around her. So it's a pretty good divination ability. And when she turns into an ant, she gets to basically turn her hair into armor and like weapons. Like she can weaponize her hair. Now, with her, would you be okay with her being below Killua here? This is post-Chimera. This is Palm as she exists at the end of the story, so she's a Chimera ant. Can you add Aluka so Meruem doesn't have to be Hacks alone? Yeah. I'm okay with A. Maybe B tier if she was just a human. A tier, I think, is fair if she has the Chimera Ant enhancements. Yeah. Above Killua. Oh, wow. I was putting Killua a little bit higher because I didn't want him to be at the bottom of A all night. But he's also not nearly as strong as, like, he's not like, oh, Killua should be at S. Like, no, Killua doesn't belong in S. I'm okay with that. It seems to be a good consensus on that. Not above Killua, yeah, okay. Finks is next. All right, so Finks, my first idea is to put him way above Feitan, strongest troop member below Chrollo. I mean, Hisoka wasn't really a member, so you can't really count that. And I guess Illumi, well, Illumi's technically a member now, but yeah. In terms of utility, he is an enhancer. And he does have one of the sickest names for an ability out there, which is Ripper Cyclotron. So he's got to be S tier just for the name. Ripper Cyclotron. And, he just has to wind his arm a bunch of times, and it gets stronger each time. And this is what I mean by enhancers, okay? Enhancers don't need to think outside the box here. You're an enhancer. Just think of something simple and effective. Gon's Jaja Ken and Finks' Ripper Cyclotron, man. That is all you need. All right? You don't need to think of something like, Finks, I need to conjure a giant sphinx in order to aid my... No, it's just wind your arm and punch really hard. You're an enhancer, bro. That's what you do. All right? Yeah. That is a really solid enhancer ability. It's really good. Yeah, Gon didn't even come up with a name for his. Yeah, Nanika's ability is definitely Nen, but it's like Nen from the Dark Continent. You know what? When he was winding up attacks, the Chimera Ant that was facing him was like Finks was even edging him on. Like, hey, come on, man. Don't you want to hit me? I'm charging up my attack. Don't you want to get close to me? Because the more he winds up the attack, his aura is just boom, 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 boom. And like every time. And that Chimera Ant's like, oh no, I can't even go close to that. You know what I mean? And also, like, Finks is aware. Finks is aware of, like, yeah, while I'm winding up the attack, that leaves me vulnerable. I think Finks is kind of, like, wanting that. That's kind of the point, to power it up even more, because he's basically making himself vulnerable while he's doing that. Yeah, going in B is honestly fair when you really just discount the adult form he has. He severely overkilled that ant. He did not need... I think it was 15 or 16 rotations. He did not need to do that many. I think he even said, like, I could have probably done half of that, and it probably would have been decent overkill. In terms of... Netero was probably an enhancer, right? He was an enhancer that used Conjuration, which is... interesting, but he was Netero, so he was able to make it work. But in terms of other enhancers beyond Netero, Finks might be the strongest. Well, it was Uvogin, but he's dead now, so it might be Finks. Finks is certainly the strongest enhancer in the troop right now. Like, inarguably, I think that's true. Yeah. Yeah, just come on. Come at me, bro. Come on. Come on. He's like, yeah, I always mess up the count. Yeah. All right. Who's next? Oh, Pito. All right. Even after taking that absolute beatdown from Adult Gon, Pito's Nen was still active to make a puppet to attack Adult Gon. Okay, Netero could definitely have killed Pito. That was pretty goddamn confirmed. So Netero could definitely kill Pito. Could Pito have killed Chrollo? I mean... Getting a lot of yeses here. Getting a lot of yeses and one hell no. Leorio's down here at top of C. Either way, I think she belongs in OP. Actually, we don't know Pito's gender. Either way, they belong in OP, I believe. And they have Dr. Blythe and Topsy Kara and all these other kinds of puppets that can manipulate people. They were able to manipulate pretty much an entire town of soldiers to attack. It's a pretty powerful ability. OP's definitely warranted. I'm thinking putting it right below Netero is fair. Pito gender is Pito. Yeah, that's pretty true. No, Pito does not belong in bottom S. No way. Pito's a budget necromancer. Yeah. Strongest royal guard, easily. Yes. All right, who's next? Porcupine. Yeah, that's the thing. They included Leech and Porcupine, but not Rapid Dog and Worm. Sad. Very sad. I'm putting here. Actually, I'm going to put them better than Gido. You know, Gido's kind of in the same category as Cheetu down here, where Gido, honestly, I think might belong in trash. But Gido's at the bottom of D tier. Yeah. We'll do Porcupine in D. Yeah. Although, no, Worm lasted longer than him. He died, and then Worm was alive for a little bit longer and then died. Yeah, Worm would be S. Yeah. Yeah, Gido was a little crafty. I'll give him a D tier just for his craftiness, but beyond that, yeah. All right, next up is Poof. Shower Poof. What was Poof's ability again? Oh, yeah, he could divide himself. He could manipulate people with his scales, and he could divide himself to, like, not the micron level. Well, no, he could. The thing is, though, he specifies that if he makes himself small enough, he won't be able to see anymore. I think he said, I think the way it works, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he said, the smallest I can make my segments and still be able to see is about the size of a bee. If I make them smaller than that, I can, but I won't be able to see out of them anymore. I think that was the limit. And he could play a sick violin. You're right about that. Damn, that violin song. He can divide himself pretty well. He did trick Morel. I mean, once again, I think all the Royal Guards need to be in OP. But where are we putting him here in OP? The real body cannot be smaller than a bee. That was it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, putting him right there, I mean, yeah. Killua had him shook. Killua had him shook. You mean Yuppie? I know Killua shocked Yuppie. Let's just do Yuppie now. Let's just get the Royal Guard out of the way. Let's just do Yuppie. Now Yuppie, he had like a rage, like a build-up. He builds up his anger, and then it explodes in one big attack. That's kind of his thing. Yuppie's OP as well. Yeah, I mean, they're all OP. Just because of the god amount of Nen that's spewing off the Royal Guard. I mean, I could just put them all in a row here. I'm pretty damn sure that outside of Netero, all three of the Royal Guard would give these remaining three in OP tier, a run for their money. Like, Hisoka versus Yuppie would be a metal fight. Maybe Hisoka would win. But I don't think it's a guarantee there. Dude, that would have been awesome to see. Hisoka shows up in the palace and just starts fighting Yuppie. Oh, God. Or Shao. That would be great. Yuppie is not B tier. The shape-shifting isn't a Nen ability. That's his thing as a magical beast, Chimera Ant. Man, people are really lowballing Yuppie on this. Man, people really want Yuppie to be like A tier, B tier. I'm like, ugh. Yeah, he's still broken as hell. All the Royal Guard are broken as hell. Like, sensing the Royal Guard's aura was enough to make a seasoned hunter like Knov like just break down, and that wasn't even the strongest one. That was just Shao's aura. Okay. Razor. Okay, you know what? I'm not even exaggerating. Razor is like, I am under the belief. Netero said he wasn't even in the top tier of Nen users anymore because he's old. You know, back in his day, he was like one of the top 3 Nen users in the whole world, probably. I am a firm believer that Razor might be one of the top Nen users in the entire world. Finks did not want to fight him. And Finks is like the second or third physically strongest troop member. And even he was like, Like, if you're going to say top Nen users in the world, like, Jean is one, Razor is another. He's... All right, if we're putting Razor in A S tier, no, not Haxif on Greed Island. I'm not even talking about the ruler ability to send people away. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just like, Finks in a straight up fight was kind of like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy. Yeah, Greed Island runs on his aura. He's in charge of every emission spell in the game. Every time someone uses Accompany on, that's Razor doing that shit. He's very OP. I'm thinking of, and I'm also thinking... I am thinking about putting him right below Chrollo. Even maybe a little above Chrollo. Razor Chrollo fight. That would be epic. Could Razor beat Yuppie? You know, I think he has a pretty damn good shot at it. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I really think he does. I think he has a really solid shot at beating a Royal Guard. He is really strong. We saw him in a dodgeball game, all right? That's all we had. It was a good thinking of Gene to put a fast travel in his game. Yeah, that's good. You want to make sure to have fast travel in your game. Otherwise, it just becomes annoying. Oh, boy. I think we're gassing him. I don't at all. I don't at all. He had so much Nen to run the emission system. He had the Nen for the Devils, and he put the Nen back into himself. And they beat him at a dodgeball game, and it's like, even after the fact, it's not like Razor was like exhausted or something from the dodgeball game. You know, he was like pretty in good top physical condition. Oh, man. If he beats Poof and Yuppie, he beats Pito. Combat, when was it ever confirmed Pito was the weakest combat-wise? Because Pito with Topsy-Kara is really strong. Pito by themselves without using any of the Nen puppets, sure. But Pito with Topsy-Kara, though. Yeah. Yeah, he seems like an enhancer, just a really... Well, no, he's an emitter. He's an emitter, because he's in charge of the emitters. Because he emits his Nen to make the devils. Oh, this is tough. I'm actually debating putting him now in between Poofy and Yoop. Poofy and Yoop. He's an emitter, but he's that strong. Damn, yeah, I know. He's an emitter, and he's that strong enhancement. I know. I know. Yeah, if Poof is like the weakest. If we're going by, we're not going by strength, but we're going by ability. Like Poof has a really good ability. The breakdown ability is really good. I will say in terms of complexity of ability, Yuppie is lower than Poof and Pito. In fact, in terms of complexity of ability, now Pito has a lot of stuff going for them. A lot of stuff with Dr. Blythe and everything. Yeah. I'm going to leave that there for right now. Oh, Real Vault, the wheelchair guy from the Heavens Arena. He has a rocket-powered wheelchair. He uses Nen to propel a wheelchair. Okay, and Sadaso. Sadaso might be, out of all of the Heavens Arena dudes, oh my god, all he does is supercharge a wheelchair. He has access to this crazy power, and he uses it to supercharge a wheelchair. Cheetu could beat that guy. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Man, Real Velt, wow. At least Gido tried something clever with the tops. It didn't work, but he tried. Sadaso lost an arm, so he's like, I'm gonna make a spooky arm that if I trap you with the arm, it like freezes you in place. Real Vault is like, wheelchair go vroom! Like, that's basically, wheelchair go vroom vroom! That is basically his ability. Oh, God. I feel like Real Vault might be the worst Nen user in Hunter x Hunter now. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe there's somebody lower than Cheetu. I don't know, man. What's worse? Cheetu, who doesn't think about an ability and just comes up with the first thing that pops into head and it's a shitty ability. Or a dude that had some time to come up with an ability, had a special wheelchair made, and came up with just Nen thrusters. That was it. That's his power. Nen thrusters. He had time to think of that. Yeah, he had tools, but those were tools he had to have built. The tools weren't Nen related. He had some electrical whips on his chair. That's not something that he conjured. That was just something he had built into the chair. Like, Real Velt had time. He could have come up with anything. I have ADHD, so let me trap myself in an empty room for 8 hours in a non-combat situation. Better use a weapon slower than I am. All right, Jermel, you've convinced me on that one. You've convinced me on that one. Holy shit. Oh, by the way, Real Velt also could have accomplished the exact same effect using just, like, a battery. He probably could have just gotten some gasoline in that chair. Probably would have had the same damn effect. Oh, my God. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Who's next? Sadaso. All right. I feel like Sadaso, out of all of the Heaven's Arena dudes, they had the ability that worked the best. He lost an arm during the initiation. So he actually thought about this, and he's like, okay, what if I have a ghost arm? So he has a ghost arm, and if he wraps you around in the ghost arm, you're just immobilized. You're like frozen solid. Okay, you can't move. All right? So, and the ghost arm can move. It can extend. It's like invisible. I don't think you're supposed to see. I think if you have Gyo, I think you could see it. But if you don't have Gyo, you can't see the arm. That's pretty good. He might be the best out of all. You know what? He's the first one out of this group I'm actually considering putting into the C tier. Like, Sadaso, he managed to be the best out of all of them. I'll put him in the lowest rung of C. There you go, buddy. You made it. You made it. You and your group made it to C. Congratulations, man. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, it's below Basho, definitely. He's no Basho. I'll put him in C. More of a pity, if anything else. All right, what's next? Shalnark. Shalnark, also very basic manipulator ability. Honestly, his ability is not much better than Boki's. It's just that he has a better control over it. He has his black voice. He can use autopilot, which is really good. Autopilot is really powerful, but it like hurts his body after. I feel like he fits between Franklin and maybe below Franklin. Below Franklin, above Kalluto. How about that? Below Franklin, above Kalluto is probably good for Shal. Yeah. And it's interesting because Shalnark is like a smart guy. He's like a really intelligent member of the Spiders, and his ability is pretty basic. But then again, maybe a manipulator, maybe that's like just the best kind of manipulator ability. You don't have to don't be really clever with manipulator abilities. Maybe it's like the best thing to do is make something that allows you to, plant a receiver into somebody and control them with a cell phone. That's maybe just the best way to use manipulator abilities. Don't have to be fancy about it. Yeah, Shalnark got off screen by Hisoka. Yeah, hence why he's one of the lower ranked ones on this list. Yeah. He's better than Boki. I'm putting him there. The autopilot gives him a bit of a boost. Boki didn't have autopilot. Should have enabled autopilot, man. One needle and you lose. He actually has two, I think. He has two needles. When Chrollo used it, he had two. Shizuku! Yay! I love Shizuku. She's my favorite spider. So she has a vacuum cleaner. The vacuum cleaner is actually really multifaceted. It allows her to absorb, to suck any ability around her that's non-organic. She can even drain the blood out of somebody. She can literally open up a wound and just suck out your blood and just kill you. Damn, she's good. But she is not physically that strong, but, you know, if that matters. That's not what we're ranking, but, well, even in terms of using Nen, she's not strong, is what I'm saying. It's not like enhancement. It's conjuration, but a really good conjuration. It's like the Knov's room kind of situation, yeah. She did have a little bit of trouble against Pike in a straight-up one-on-one. She's also a little bit... She's not the smartest sometimes. Well, not that she's dumb. She's just very forgetful. If Razor was so strong, why wasn't Hisoka interested in fighting him for real? He probably was. We just maybe didn't hear him say it, but he probably was. We got the impression several times during that dodgeball match Hisoka was pretty aroused. You know? He, like, caught the ball that one time, and he was, like, bleeding, and he's like, and I'm just like, oh, God, dude, tone it down, Hisoka. You're causing problems. Yeah, I think that's good. It's really good at sucking. It's good at disposing of bodies. It's good at doing that. Combat. And it apparently can fit anything. It's apparently like a bag of holding. She can apparently fit anything in there. I feel like it should be higher than B. Because, like, Shaunark's ability, pretty basic. Franklin's ability, pretty basic. Gon. These are all characters that have fairly straightforward kind of abilities. Shizuku put some serious thought into that power. I'm thinking of putting her in between Machi and Kortopi. I think that's good. I think A, maybe S not so much, but that was a pretty clever ability. It put some thought into that, you know? Yes, it could spit stuff out. Pretty sure. Vacuums usually have a push feature. All right. Shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, man, shoot. I didn't really care for shoot. I mean, okay, when he fought Yuppie, that was cool. But, like, shoot, he has a lot of anxiety, man. He has a lot of problems. Okay, Hotel Rafflesia. Okay, how does this work again? He has a bunch of hands that are floating around him. If one of the hands hits you, that body part that he touched just gets sucked into the Hotel Rafflesia. And then if he touches a certain portion of your body, like over 50% of your body, the whole body gets sucked in. Something like that. He has to kind of like get a certain like majority of your body until he gets sucked in. But once you're in there, I mean, you're trapped for good. I mean, you're not getting out of there. I think it has to be his actual hand. Oh, if it has to be his actual hand, that's not good. No, the floating hands don't activate it. Oh, man, that does suck. Ah, shoot, man. It's like a worse version of the Fun Cloth. Wait a minute, that is basically what this is. It's a shittier version of the Fun Cloth with way more restrictions. Good for hunting animals. Yeah, he is a beast hunter, isn't he? Yeah. Man, that does suck. Shoot. Shoot, are you going to make me put you in D tier? I mean, guys. I mean, damn, that's actually a really restrictive power now that I think about it. He has to get up close and personal with you. He has to actually physically touch you to make it work. Even Sadaso had some range. He can fly if he balances on a hand. And he can fall off the hand, too. It's not a really... he can levitate. It's not a great form of levitating, but he could technically levitate. He does have mobility. It does give him some mobility. It's a really strange... It's not the main focus of the ability, but I'll give him C tier just for that. He's above Baise. Yeah, he can fly. I'll give him some movement speed. I'll put him right below Kastro. How about that? He can trap people's body parts if he gets close. Can trap their whole bodies if enough time passes and he touches you enough times. And he can fly on the hands. Yeah. His ability is really not that crazy powerful when you really think about it. There's other abilities that do the same thing, just better. Silva. From what we know about Silva, it's just he's a transmuter because all the Zoldycks that have white hair are transmuters. So him and Zeno and Killua are all transmuters. He has these giant energy balls that just boom! They just blow the shit out of anything around you. He just basically turns his aura into like combustive force and just incinerates anything around him. He's probably using some emitter abilities too, yeah. It's probably transmutation and emission. Double Sunday. Yeah, it kind of is. He gets energy balls. Yep. Energy balls. I'm thinking he didn't... Oh, by the way, he was also able to kill a member of the Phantom Troop, though we know nothing about that encounter. And he did fight Chrollo. The fight didn't end conclusively, but he did fight Chrollo. He fought Chrollo and he didn't have his ability stolen. That's important to know. Though it's pretty much impossible for Chrollo to steal anybody's abilities mid-combat, so that's not really a good comparison. Chrollo's abilities pretty much make it impossible for him to steal a power while he's fighting you. I mean, yeah, by that logic, he has to be stronger than Illumi. What if we just put him there? What if we put him right here? Above Illumi, but below Morel. Yeah. Silva stronger than Morel. I think you can make that argument. They're both about the same age. They have really good Nen. It's just we got to see a lot more of Morel's Nen. We got to see the real versatility of Morel's Nen. But you could argue, maybe not necessarily as diverse as Morel's, but still. Silva's an emitter. I thought every white-haired Zoldyck was a transmuter like Killua. Interesting. I thought the rule was all the black-haired Zoldycks were manipulators, all the white-haired ones were transmuters. Might be misremembering something. Either way, emitter or transmuter, it doesn't really matter overall. Giant energy balls he throws at you. He is really effective. I mean, he's the head of the Zoldyck family. I mean, damn. I guess Zeno is technically the head, but, you know. He was also able to one-shot Cheetu. So that's a standard. That's a good standard. He killed Cheetu, so he deserves to be S tier. He deserves to be Hax tier for taking out Cheetu, honestly. If there's no surviving witnesses, it still counts as an assassination. I mean, kind of. If I just wipe out the whole city block, then, yeah, it doesn't need to be. They might have retconned it in the data book. That does happen occasionally in this series. All right. I'm going to leave him right there for right now. Because I feel like Morel has more diversity than Silva. Silva might be able to do some really wacky stuff with his ability, but we just haven't seen it. And he's killed a Phantom Troop member, so yeah. And I think he's stronger than Illumi. All right. Next up, we have... hold up, I know this one. I know this guy's name. It starts with an S. I'm not looking at the screen. I will remember this. I'm not looking at the chat. I will remember this guy's name. It's very important. Huh. Oh, God. He's an important character. He's kind of like an important side character in Yorknew, too. Ah, don't tell me I know this one. No, it's not. This is a Lantern situation all over again, isn't it? Yeah, I give up. Squalla. It was Squalla. Damn it. I forgot Squalla. All right, yeah. Okay. I remembered Boki's name, but I forgot about Squalla. Damn it. All right. Anyway, he's a manipulator. He can control dogs. He can, like, tell a dog to go and fight for him or bring him food or just be a good little doggo and go for walkies. He's really nice to dogs, though. He's not mean to the dogs. He treats the dogs like his family, pretty much. So he gets some points for that. Not a Nen ability, just general animal kindness. I think C's good. I might even put him above... How about above Sadaso, but below Basho? Because, it's kind of limited what you can really do with dogs. I mean, it's not like you're giving the dogs Nen. You're just manipulating the dogs with Nen. So the dogs are still dogs, you know what I mean? It's not like I give this dog the ability to breathe fire, and this dog can breathe underwater, and this dog can fly, and this dog can turn into metal. You know, and this dog is hyper intelligent. You're just manipulating the dogs. That's all you're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, dogs could do that if they just train them properly. Yeah, but it takes away all the train. You know how long it takes to train a dog to, like, go over there and open this door and pull a cart into the room and sniff it for poison? That takes some time. The manipulator ability just allows you to do it right away. So that is, you know, it is the same basic thing with training, but yeah. He's nice to the dogs. And he died. Let's give him something. Post-mortem Nen Squalla. He brings back Cerberus. He goes to the underworld and uses his ability on Cerberus. Now he's strong. All right, who's next? Sachmono. I remember that guy's name. I remember that dude's name. And that guy is significantly less important than Squalla. That's the guy that creates the little balloon dudes that attack them in the mansion and then immediately they all get gunned down by Franklin. Franklin shreds this guy's Nen ability in like 0.2 seconds. It lasts a little bit longer than that. It takes a couple of seconds for him to shoot through all of them, but it pretty much shreds all of them, yeah. They were really weak. And they were really stupid. They behaved like really basic enemies in a video game where, like, attack the enemy closest to you, and they're like, you know, like, shoot the enemy closest to you. It's like a really bad AI in, like, a PlayStation game or something that you can exploit the fuck out of. You know, something like that. Yeah. His ability was to generate 11 NPCs. 11 really badly programmed 1990s SNES, characters, basically. That was his power. I will put him at the top of D. Tier. Yeah, he can't even really control them precisely. It's just like he makes a bunch. He's like, attack these people. That's it. The NPCs were weaker than normal people. He summons 11 Minecraft villagers. Not even C. I don't think he deserves it. I think Sadaso could kick this guy's ass. I really do. I think even Squalla's dogs could probably kick this guy's ass. Squalla controls enough dogs to go and attack all the balloon guys, and then Squalla beats the shit out of him. There you go. I think Squalla could beat this guy. Oh, man. He summons 11 inflatable Halloween decorations. Yeah. All right, who's next? We're getting to the final thing here. Subone, Rider's High. Okay, she has the ability. It doesn't work on her specifically. She needs somebody else to help her, but that's the whole point of the ability. She can turn herself into a bunch of vehicles that run on Nen. That's actually a really cool ability. Her ability to turn into a motorcycle, and then Amane was on it. She was faster than Killua using Godspeed. That's insane. So it's a very specific ability. It's not a main combat ability. It's a very good support ability, and you have to have somebody else to help you. But if the conditions are met, you have a wicked fast motorcycle. You have a wicked fast jet. Probably a submarine. I always thought she could turn into a submarine. She could pretty much turn into every vehicle. She has a vehicle for land. She has a vehicle for air, vehicle for water, vehicle for probably going up or down. You know, she probably has vehicles for like all sorts of types of terrain. That's the whole point. Yeah. She could fly. She could fly, and she could fly better than Shoot can. I think B's probably good for Subone. Subone! All right, where's she going, though? She higher than Knuckle. Below Knuckle. Is that land, sea, and air I hear? She needs a friend. She wouldn't use the ability, though, unless there was somebody there to use the power. She's not going to turn into a motorcycle unless there's somebody there to use the motorcycle. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's all terrain. Yeah. Lower? Yeah. Maybe in between Kortopi and Shizuku. Yeah, putting her above Machi is kind of, yeah. Because the speed you could pull off on that thing is insane. Below Killua? I think putting her in A is already kind of stressing it. So maybe at the very bottom of A. That might actually be the best place for her. Yeah, bottom A works. Okay. Uvogin. Uvogin might have been the strongest enhancer in the world. Like, he might have been. He mentioned, like, my Big Bang impact at full power. No one on this planet's walking away from that unscathed. You know? Like, I'll tell you what. If Meruem took full power Big Bang impact, probably wouldn't have killed him. Probably would have done maybe... I don't know. I don't know how that would have went. Because Kurapika had just insane defenses and all the shit with you know, Kurapika's power. Yeah. I feel like if Meruem took a full power Big Bang impact from Uvogin, I don't think he would have walked away from that just like that was nothing. I feel like he would have spat up some blood or something. He's definitely higher than Finks. Definitely higher than Finks. So the safe bet would have put him at least here. But I feel like he should be higher than that. Above Hisoka? You think he's OP tier? You have to disconnect the ability from the fact that he was defeated by Kurapika, who has so many hacks powers in this series. I don't think he's in OP. I don't think he's in OP. I think he's down in A somewhere. Maybe somewhere around here. Maybe higher than Illumi, lower than Silva, something like that, maybe. Zeno's not on the board yet. Zeno's coming up, though. He was cocky. But we're not rating your cockiness. We're rating how good your ability is. And he used his ability pretty well. He was an enhancer. He was pretty straightforward. He punches shit. He optimized his enhancer ability. You really can't say anything else about it. Yeah, that's true. He's definitely above Finks. Below Hisoka. I'm okay with that. That's not bad. He was really strong. Like, dude, I'll do the same thing I did with Netero with the zero hand. Let's take some people from A tier here. Like, If Illumi got hit with a full power Big Bang Impact, he's going down. He's fucking going down from that. You know? Morel takes a full power Big Bang. He's getting fucked up from that. All right? Kurapika empowered him. Yeah, with all the crazy broken shit that he has. Oh, yeah. Knuckle is very dead if he got hit by that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's right below him. Yeah. His destructive power seems similar to Yuppie. That's not wrong. Yeah. We're not taking just strength into account when the ability is not strength-based. We're taking into everything, so it's kind of hard to quantify it. It's if the user is an enhancer, how good of an enhancer ability do they have? Enhancer abilities, the good ones, by their very nature, are very simple. In the case with Uvogin, he was an enhancer, so his whole ability was, I punch things really hard. So the only way to really gauge his ability as a Nen user is by strength, because that's what he is. Other people, like Shalnark, was a manipulator, so his ability isn't going to be combat-based. Other people, like Subone, I think Subone was a specialist, was not about attack power, it was something else. But enhancers are very simple, very straightforward fighters. You know? He was a perfect enhancer. Yes. All right. Welfin. Welfin had that, like, centipede ability. Black centipede. Such a weird ability for Welfin to have. He shoots missiles out of a rocket launcher on his back, and then they launch and they turn into centipedes that then grow on you if you become... No, that grow the more confident he is, and the less confident that Welfin is, they shrink. Such a weird power. I'm not even saying ranking yet. That's a weird-ass power. What made him come up with that? Oh, man. Long stream. Yeah, I know. It's already 10 o'clock. Damn. Huh. You can't dodge it either. When it hits you, it hits you. You can avoid it like the way Meruem avoided it. Like if he fires a missile and you're not there, it'll misfire. But if he fires it and he has a line of sight of you when he fires it, it's hitting you no matter what. It doesn't matter if you dodge or jump or go away. It'll follow you till the ends of the earth. Subone's a conjurer, yet she can turn her body into something. That's weird. Welfin, I think... It's a good ability. How about we put his ability... He's better than the Ortho siblings. Trying to find other abilities to compare this to. B tier? Yeah, he would have died before Meruem did. Yeah, probably. It's a fairly unique ability. It is. I think putting him in, like, mid-B is okay. Zazan is next. Zazan had queen shot or something. It allowed her to... Whoever she stung with her stinger turned into, like, a Cronenberg, like, ant-human hybrid zombie. Like, they weren't really chimera ants. They were, like, weird, like, oh, God, please kill me. You know, it was, like, a really fucked up version of, like, a zombie. It's 3 a.m. and I'm so tired. We're almost done. Yeah, we got 5 more. Zazan's power, though, like, it could make an army, but the individual creatures, I mean, they weren't super powerful. Oh, yeah, she also had the transformation to turn into a crocodile for some reason. She's clearly a scorpion, but then she turns into a crocodile. I don't know what the connection was. Yeah, her powers were more physical. So what are we thinking here, C? Like, honestly, her ability is really forgettable. Like, here? I think C's good for Zazan, really. I guess it's ugly on the inside. Are you saying crocodiles and alligators are ugly? You better get out of this chat right now. We don't want to stand. We don't stand for that stuff around here. Crocodiles are beautiful. All right? One to the right. Okay. Boop. There we go. Crocodiles are marvelous, sir or madam. Hold on a minute. You look into the eyes of this crocodile, and you don't tell me that that's precious. Oh, look at the little guy. Sa. All right, we're almost done. Now we have Zeno, old Grandpappy Zeno. He can literally drop an air raid on wherever, like whenever he wants. And you just have to pay him enough money. You pay him enough Jenny, and he'll drop an air raid on whatever country you ask for. That's his assassination service. Netero called him up. Netero literally calls this dude up and just like, hey, Zeno, I have a job for you. I need your dragon dive special. It's like, all right, well, it's going to cost you, old man. It's like, yeah, I'm older than you. Yeah, okay, old man, yeah. All right, it's going to cost you 1 billion Jenny to drop that dragon dive. All right, I'll transfer it into your account. All right, meet me on top of the dragon. It's going to be fun. Click. Like, yeah. Oh, man. I'm putting him right next to Razor. Been watching since 2018. Palm's right here. She just is in her special outfit, her debonair outfit after she transforms. He's definitely stronger than Silva. The sheer range of that power is incredible. And was able to pin down Chrollo. Zeno is badass, man. She looks like a vampire, which, she kind of was. All right. Gorinu is next. He has the white gorilla and the black gorilla. The white gorilla is able to switch places with, I think, an enemy, and then he can switch places with the black gorilla, or vice versa, one of those. It is, like, Razor himself even said, hey, that's not a bad ability. Nurture that ability well. It's pretty decent. Like, the ability to switch places with any enemy and the ability to switch places with the Nen Beast at any time. And the Nen Beasts itself are pretty big and bulky. They can beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Not bad. It's a pretty respectable ability. Also, he made it into Greed Island. I mean, you know, it's pretty all right. Not too bad. Yeah. I'd be all right with putting him in a solid B tier. I'll put him up there. You know what? I'll put him up here. I'll put him above Bonolenov. I'll put him above Gone. I'll put him above Franklin. You know what? I'll put him above... I think very highly of Genthrou's ability. I'll put him right below Genthrou, but I'll put Gorinu right next to Genthrou. I'm confident with that. Yeah. Toto's Boogie Woogie. I don't know Toto. Is that a character from JJK? Probably a character from JJK. Yeah, it's Toto from JJK. Who is Toto? Oh, is that the dude with the, was he on my calendar? Hold on, who the hell's Toto? Oh, it's that guy. Oh, that guy has a power like that. That's cool. I like that dude. Dude's badass. Okay. All right, cool. There we go. He has Toto's ability. All right, who's next? Kess. Does anybody remember Kess's ability? Asking for a friend. Kess has the ability to make, it's called Silent Worker or Fly on the Job. He basically makes like a radar device to track people. The way that Genthrou said, it's basically inescapable. You can't avoid it. It's a tracking ability that just works really well, like radar. He's a scout. It's a scout ability. It's a really good scout ability you can't really avoid. Which is fine. I mean, that's what he made it. You know, that's pretty good. It's a pretty decent power. I don't have anything wrong with that. It's pretty okay. I forgot he existed. Yeah, I don't know why he's on here either. They put him on here, but they missed a few others. But okay, I'll take it. I like Kess. Kess was all right. Really good scouting ability. Where's Fluter at? Fluter is here. I'm going to put that ability right below Fluter. Just because Fluter, I think his satellite dragonflies are a bit better and more range. But he just basically generates like a radar scope monitor thing that he could just be like, it's over there. You know, that's basically his power. I'll put him near the bottom of B. In fact, I'll put him at the bottom of B. I'll put him right behind Ikago. All right, last one. Tesgera. He can jump really high. Click. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was fantastic. Really great impromptu video that took about 4 hours for me to film. But you know, I'm happy with these. These are pretty good. Meruem is, of course, in a league of his own. Netero's closely behind. Royal Guard following shortly thereafter. Razor is way higher than I think many people might understand, but I think he deserves that spot. Zeno deserves that spot. Chrollo, Hisoka, Kurapika, they're all broken as shit. They all go in OP. Kite being at the top of A, I think is good. Yeah, this is all right. Jean is not on here. I know Naniko is not on here. Yeah. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on a second. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a click. All right. Yeah, this one's probably good. Okay. All right, here we go. Which one was it again? There we go. All right, here we are. There we go. I don't want to make Meruem all by himself. I don't want Meruem to be by himself, guys. That's not cool. All right, I think we all agree Nanika, who literally has the power to destroy the world if they wanted to, deserves to be in Hacks category. Actually, you know what? That's better. That's better. Okay, there we go. Valid. All right. Honestly, if we're being 100%, there should be another category beyond this where all the calamities from the Dark Continent should go. Like I or Nanika should go in that. Byron should go in that. Zobe disease, Pap, Hellbell, all those should be in a tier even beyond Meruem. Really, if we're being honest. But I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Yeah. Hell's bells. Oh, okay. Well, that was a video that was just random. I literally just like, hey, I have time today. I have everything else that was canceled. I'm just going to do this instead. And it took 4 hours. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I had a delicious grilled cheese. I'm going to go eat the rest of that now. And maybe my salad. I have my salad. That's good. Not like we're ever going to get to see the Dark Continent. I mean, like, you're not wrong, but at the same time, it's sad. I know. Maybe we will, guys. Maybe we will see the Dark Continent someday. Maybe one day we'll get there, you know? We could be optimistic, right? Yeah, okay. Tagashi's health, though, at the end of the day is more important. Like, we can't sit here and be like, Tagashi, write more of this. It's like, if your health is that bad, you know, it's a pretty dick thing to say that, like, you know, this is more important than your health. So no. You know, maybe someday, though, I don't know. I mean, I know his wife talked about maybe like finishing it or, you know, the ideas and stuff like what happened with Berserk. But, you know, I would like to see it someday. Yeah, but it's truly an amazing story. Okay. Do all the princes Nenbeasts? I mean, I'd have to go back and reread on what some of them do. But yeah, I could do that. All right. Well, anyway, that was the video. Que sera, sera. Also a good one to do for a break week. There's no One Piece this week, so you get this instead. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. And you all have a great evening. Signing out. Bye.